Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Naruto. I have Super Saiyan JinchuRiki inside me. Chapter 21. 1 month later, training ground number 99. Naruto, Neji and Xiao Li arrived as scheduled. Neji looked up at Naruto and said arrogantly, "Come on. For this day, Neji has made sufficient preparations. For a month, Neji has been practicing desperately every moment. The madness even surprised Hyuga Hiyashi as Neji's uncle. Did he use the caged bird spell last time to punish him too hard?" Xiao Li. "Here, teacher Naruto." Hearing Naruto's shout, Xiao Li straightened his body. Li lock. Xiao Li stretched out his right hand to Neji and made a gesture of opening hands. HMPH. Neji just snorted coldly, not even saying hello normally. In his eyes, it was impossible for Li lock to beat himself. This is the pride of being a genius of the Hyuga clan. When the fight started, Li lock preempted and bullied Neji with great speed, hitting his waist. There is a tendency to not give up until Neji's waist is broken. Seeing this, Neji didn't panic, but concentrated chakra on both hands and turned his fists into palms. Using the nature of the jujitsu in gentle fist, he dispelled Li lock's attack with a light swing. "You are very good, classmate Neji." Seeing that he missed a hit, Xiao Li praised him without hesitation. Facing Xiao Li's compliment, Neji just said lightly, "Humph, that's all. If it's only this level, then the game is stable." Neji set a flag for himself indifferently. Xiao Li stared at Neji and said seriously, "I'm going to be more serious next time." While talking, Xiao Li attacked Neji again, this time he whipped his legs continuously. Lifting the knees, shrinking the abdomen and waist, Lehei, kicking the legs out with the power of turning around the waist, bouncing, using the arch of the foot and the front shin to make the right foot sweep towards Neji like a whip. Next is the high side, middle side, and low side attacking Neji's head, chest, and lower back respectively. The last is to sweep the legs, twist the waist and sweep out with all your strength. One after another, without any pause at all, Xiao Li's offensive was extremely violent. Blind eyes. Single quote. Faced with such a fierce attack, Neji had to turn over his cards, and saw that the blood vessels around Neji's eyes burst out one after another, forming spider web-like veins, which looked very ferocious. The Shueiji Gigi of the Hyuga family claims to have a 360 degrees viewing angle. It has a see-through eye that can clearly see the opponent's meridians, acupoints, and the flow of chakra in the human body, and can see through things, and a telescopic eye that can see into the distance. It can even use chakra to multiply the ability of the eyes, and the eyes can see things within a radius of 1 kilometer, and its insight is the strongest in the ninja world. Neji opened his eyes to push his own insight to the limit. Xiao Li's attack trajectory was completely seen by Neji, and all the violent attacks were resolved by Neji with gentle fist without exception. So much strength, so much speed. Single quote. Shaking his numb arm, Neji was amazed by Xiao Li's improvement in strength this month, but he still refused to accept it. Is this the only level? Indeed, if Xiao Li is only at this level, then the winner will still be Neji. With gentle fist suppression of Taijutsu Ninja, Neji is invincible in the same level of Taijutsu Duel. Although it will be a little harder to win. I admit that your time has improved a lot in this month, and this speed and strength make me a little struggling. Neji pulled a stiff smile from the corner of his mouth. But it's just a little difficult. The rest of the class might have been beaten to the ground by you long ago. It's a pity you met me. Genius Ninja, Hyuga Neji. I have seen through your fate, you are destined to be defeated by me. In fact, seeing Xiao Li's improvement in strength, Neji has already admired Naruto. In a month's time, Xiao Li, who was at the bottom of the crane, could have the power to fight against his own genius. No one would believe it. If my strength can also improve like Xiao Li, maybe destiny will really change. Ms. Naruto said that you are very strong. Li Lock ignored Neji's victory declaration, but looked at his opponent very seriously. You are really strong. In order to express my respect to you, I decided to go all out. You said you didn't go all out just now. Neji immediately expressed disbelief. What are you kidding? Such big words. Single quote. Xiao Li's strength can be improved to the current level, which has surprised Neji enough. If it is stronger, it will not be a shock but a hang-up. The other party is practicing taijutsu, which takes a lot of time to practice over time. If you can surpass yourself in a month, then what is your hard work these years? Impossible, the other party must be bluffing. Lelouch didn't know Neji's inner struggle, and looked at Naruto solemnly, and after getting Naruto's affirmative nod, he pulled off the bandage on his leg. This is this. Neji's eyes widened, with a ghostly expression on his face. Under the white bandage, it's all lead. Bump. The load fell to the ground, setting off bursts of smoke and dust. Just now, all the attention was on Xiao Li's chakra, and he didn't notice that the opponent was still wearing a weight. With this level of weight, it is not easy for me to move, let alone carry it into battle. Xiao Li was able to carry these things at a speed not inferior to his own. After taking off the weight, Xiao Li swayed from side to side and jumped for a while, moved his joints a few times, took a deep breath, and looked at Neji seriously. Neji, I'm coming. Then, he moved. So fast. With the insight of Neji's white eyes, he could only catch a little afterimage of Xiao Li. Although the weight on Xiao Li's body is not as exaggerated as in the Chunin exam, Neji is not as strong as in the Chunin exam. He can't even perform revolving heaven and 8 trigrams 32 palms now. Gentle fist. Single quote. Facing Xiao Li at this speed, Neji was more serious than ever, using all his strength to try to defeat Xiao Li with gentle fist suppression of taijutsu ninja. The gentle fist of the Hyuga family is indeed terrifying. It can drive its own chakra into the opponent's body and seal the opponent's chakra. Rumor has it that as long as a ninja from the Hyuga family gets close, no matter whether it is a physical ninja, a ninja or a phantom ninja, there is only one way to lose. It's a pity that his opponent this time is Xiao Li, who surpasses him in strength and speed. If Neji knows the field of 8 trigrams and revolving heaven, he may be able to compete with the current Xiao Li. Too bad he won't. No matter how powerful your lethality is, no matter how high your martial arts are, it will be a loss if you can't touch it. In martial arts in the world, everything is invincible, only speed can't be broken. Neji couldn't hit Xiao Li with 10 punches and 8 palms, but every time Xiao Li hit Neji, it hurt so much that he grinned. Lost, it can be said that the defeat was very thorough. Facing Lelouch, who was fully fired, Neji didn't even have the strength to fight back. He was suppressed by Xiao Li in all directions, and Kong had a powerful gentle fist physical skill, but he couldn't hit him. Neji was beaten by Xiao Li like a sandbag. In the end, Neji, with his head full of bags, fell down. Complete abuse. Hyuga Neji is defeated. Is this the choice of fate? Neji lying on the ground muttered to himself, fate chose that guy and abandoned me. It's not fate. Naruto walked slowly, looked at Neji on the ground and said, you have not been abandoned by fate. Fate never existed. No, everything is predestined. Neji exhausted all his strength, endured the pain and sat up from the ground, looked at Naruto and said with difficulty. Like now, he beat me. Naruto was amused by Neji's stubbornness. Naruto sneered and said, since everything is predestined, why do you still practice so hard? Anyway, everything is doomed, why do you still have to work hard? Isn't it good to just lie flat? You always say that your destiny cannot be changed, but you are the one who wants to change your destiny the most, right? Naruto mercilessly pierced through Neji's disguise and pointed at Neji's vitals. Those deep blue eyes seemed to be able to see through Neji's heart. What are you waiting for? What are you expecting? What are you expecting? Waiting for someone to beat you. Waiting for someone to point you out. Waiting for someone to correct you. PFF'd. Ha ha ha. You are not a princess in a castle, and there will be no prince on a white horse to rescue you. Besides, the riders on white horses may not all be princes, they may also be monks. The only person in this world who can save you is yourself. So there's no fate at all. Even if there is, my fate will only be in my own hands. Naruto clenched his fists tightly. Because of this, he practiced so crazily, and because of this, Naruto always felt that he was not strong enough. Watching my parents die in front of me, I don't want to experience the powerless feeling of being unable to do anything again. Destiny. Sorry, the moment he was born in the world of Hokage, there was no shit fate. I only believe in myself. You can't change the past, but you can change the future. Use these hands to break him, to realize your ideals yourself. At this moment Naruto is extremely confident, at this moment Naruto is extremely dazzling. Neji seems to see the golden sun behind Naruto. Naruto extended his right hand to Neji and threw an olive branch. Hyuga Neji, are you interested in controlling your own destiny with me? HMPH. Neji snorted coldly, but still stretched out his hand and held Naruto's hand firmly. Then let me stand by your side and see how far you can go. Uzumaki Naruto, you have clearer eyes than mine. Do not let me down. Single quote. The days that followed returned to the days of cultivation, cultivation. Only this time, there are two more figures beside Naruto. Lilac, Hyuga Neji. Konaha School, Ninja Shooting Range. A Konaha teacher held a white notebook and said while recording something. The content of the ninja test is shuriken. 6 out of 10 shurikens are considered qualified. First, Uchiha Sasuke. A black-haired boy with a red and white ping-pong pattern printed on his back walked forward slowly with one hand in his pocket. I saw him take out a shuriken from the ninja tool bag on his waist, throw it at the target seemingly randomly, and the shuriken flew all over the sky. Counting it carefully, it was exactly 10. This counts as abstention, the boy with a little smell said disdainfully, with special patterns on the left and right sides of his face and a puppy on his head. However, it will depend on how good I am for a while. Inuzuka Fang, the eldest son of the Inuzuka clan chief. Just like the cat mother-in-law of the ninja cat family likes cats, the Inuzuka family likes dogs very much. It is a family of Konoha that specializes in raising ninja dogs. As soon as Ya's words fell, the shurikens flying in the air were spinning at high speed, colliding with each other in a way of colliding with each other, and shooting towards the target in the field at an incredible angle. Bang bang bang. Without exception, the 10 shurikens all sank into the bullseye directly in front of them. All in. Uchiha Sasuke perfect score. Sasuke put his cool hands in his pockets, and walked out of the field without looking back. HMPH, this is the shuriken technique that Itachi Big Brother gave me. Although compared to the collision of the 5 shurikens of the Big Brother, the collision of these 2 shurikens is still far from the boss. Ah, so hot. As expected of Sasuke-kun. It's really amazing. Surrounded by the exclamation of little girls, seeing Sasuke's cool back, they all fell into a state of nympho. That slap in the face and the exclamation of the girls made Ya feel very shameless. Che, what's so great about this? It's just 10 shurikens at a time, but it's just all hits. Ya murmured in a low voice with some dissatisfaction. His voice became smaller and smaller, and his confidence became less and less. Although his Inuzuka tooth can also hit the bull's eye, he can't understate it like Sasuke, and he still has 10 shots at a time. It's gorgeous. A voice sounded beside Ya. Seeing someone agreeing with him, Ya suddenly regained his spirits. Yes, you feel the same way. Ah. While talking, Ya turned around to see which hero saw the same thing, and when he saw the face of the person coming, his teeth got stuck in an instant. It was none other than Uzumaki Naruto who spoke. You're playing Hearing someone say that Sasuke is not good, Sasuke's support team immediately planned to fight back, but after seeing that it was Naruto, he got stuck as well. The group of little girls huddled up in front of Naruto, like a flock of quails. Naruto whispered as soon as he left. Here comes the bully. Why do the teachers ignore him? Shut up, have you forgotten the last time you were punched and cried by him? Even hitting girls, what a bad character. Even Sasuke was beaten by him. Naruto went straight to Hinata, and the two stood side by side. Since it was in front of everyone, Hinata shyly turned her head aside, and kept playing with the corner of her clothes. However, in the eyes of outsiders, Naruto forced Hinata, and Hinata was forced to be helpless. Look, let me say, the young lady of the Hyuga family must have been coerced by him. That's right, you said Hinata is so quiet, how could she get along with her? Instant silence. Just a faint look in the eyes made all the girls silent. Don't look at Naruto never causing trouble, and never taking the initiative to conflict with anyone, usually just a few glances at most. But when it comes to sparring, the attack is extremely dark. Often just one punch can make the opponent cry. Anyone who provoked him and said bad things, including Sasuke, was beaten and cried without exception. Humph, Sasuke snorted coldly. It has always been Sasuke's shame to be punched and cried by Naruto. He won't let go of any chance to bury Naruto. Don't just talk big, you have the ability, you can do what you want. Is it itchy? Naruto raised his eyebrows and rolled up his sleeves. Sasuke looked like he was facing a big enemy. We speak with strength. I got full marks in all the shurikens. You are so good, so go for it. Hey, aggressive method. Naruto looked Sasuke up and down with interest as if seeing something strange. IQ is growing. Sasuke's face flushed instantly. At this moment, he really wanted to go up and beat this guy up. If you can beat it, you can't fight, you can't win by cursing. Hi, so angry. Let the young master of the Uchiha family open his eyes today. Naruto took out a shuriken from his pocket. Ninjas or assassins, like Lion Majesty, who hide in the dark and wait for the opportunity. Throwing it hard, the shuriken flew out with lightning speed, like a fired shell. Not only did it hit the bull's eye, but it also directly pierced through the entire target. The castration remained undiminished. It pierced through several big trees and did not stop until it was deeply embedded in the stone wall. If you don't hit a single blow, you can travel thousands of miles away. Speaking unhurriedly, he took out the second one, then the third one and the fourth one. The thing that matters is one hit kills. These shurikens, without exception, exploded the target. 10th. With a bang, the 10th target could not bear the impact brought by the shuriken, and it shattered into fragments. No need for so many bells and whistles. This is not throwing a shuriken, this is obviously throwing a cannonball. Teacher Konaha, who was in charge of recording the results, had a big drop of sweat on the back of his head, looked at the target that had been reduced to pieces, and swallowed. If this hits someone, ordinary ninjutsu doesn't have this power, right? Naruto said solemnly. This is the correct way to use a shuriken. Correct hammer. Throwing methods like yours can't kill the enemy at all, at most they can hurt. Without waiting for Sasuke to refute, he pulled Hinata and ran away without looking back. Naruto's violent shuriken throwing method completely stunned this group of little devils who have not experienced much in the world. The attack method of throwing shuriken into shells is almost unheard of. Everyone is immersed in shock, including Uchiha Sasuke, who has fallen into deep doubts about his throwing method. Little Sasuke didn't realize it until he was almost back home. No, isn't shuriken just for hurting people? Who really expects a shuriken to kill? Laughing to death, have you ever seen a strong ninja being stabbed to death by a shuriken or stabbed to death by a kunai? The sun was setting. Depressed little Sasuke returned to Uchiha's residence, and soon came to his big house. I'm back. Little Sasuke gently opened the door of his house with his pouting mouth almost ready to hang on the soy sauce bottle. As soon as I entered the door, I heard a burst of laughter from the inner room. Sasuke recognized his father's voice immediately. As the father of Sasuke and Itachi, Fugaku usually has a straight face, with a very serious look. Since he can remember, Sasuke has rarely heard his father laugh, especially in the past 2 years, he hasn't even laughed. Could it be that the big brother is back? Single quote. Only when Itachi finished his mission and returned home, Sasuke could occasionally hear a few words of approval from his father. Brother, thought that his big brother had come back. Little Sasuke happily ran to the door of the back room, and pulled it hard, but when he saw the situation inside the back room, his brain shut down instantly and he was stunned. It took several seconds before Sasuke's brain returned to normal. Sasuke pointed at Naruto who was sitting in front of his father and yelled, "Why are you at my house?" Sasuke. Before Naruto could speak, Fugaku glared at Sasuke with dissatisfaction, and said with a serious face, "How can you yell at the guests, what's your manners?" But he is. Yep, Sasuke is usually most afraid of Fugaku, and when Fugaku glared at him, he shrank instantly. He hurriedly looked at his mother, Uchiha Makoto. Usually in such a situation, his mother would definitely protect him. But Uchiha Makoto said, "Sasuke, Mr. Naruto is your classmate, how can you talk to him like this?" Even his mother, who has always been protecting him, stood by the bully this time. Sasuke felt very wronged, pouted and said to Naruto indignantly, "I'm sorry, Naruto-san. I was the one to be rude. It's okay, it's a good boy who knows his mistakes and can correct them." Naruto continued to stimulate Sasuke's nerves with a look of, "I'm your elder, I don't care about you," for fear of chaos. Sasuke. Well, just when Sasuke was about to attack, he was stared back by Fugaku again. In the end, the lost all depended on the poor, weak and helpless Sasuke, who could only hold back his tears and ran to his room without looking back. I made you laugh, Fugaku said to Naruto apologetically. It's okay, Uncle Serious. Naruto waved his hand to show that he didn't care. I'm very optimistic about Sasuke. Sasuke has excellent talent and good nature. It can be seen that he has inherited all the advantages of Uncle Serious and Makoto Aunt. His future is bound to be bright. Unlimited. No matter what Naruto really thinks of Sasuke, it is definitely right to praise Sasuke first. According to the original book, Sasuke's future is indeed limitless. In fact, Naruto doesn't dislike Sasuke. Not only does he not dislike him, but he even thinks Sasuke is very kind. As for why they targeted him, it was purely because they liked to tease him. Even if Sasuke gets angry again and sees Naruto not pleasing to the eyes, Naruto still can't feel any malice towards himself in him. As for why Naruto is at Uchiha Sasuke's house, the time goes back to 3 months ago, when Sasuke provoked Naruto because of the head iron, and was punched and cried by Naruto. And on the same day he met Fugaku and Makoto. Naruto instantly recognized Fugaku and Makoto. Fugaku and Makoto, who passed by 3 years ago, helped Naruto once, and it was really because of this time that Naruto had a great affection for Fugaku and Makoto. Facing that group of disgusting villagers, Naruto almost couldn't help running away. Almost fell into a trap set by an unknown person. At that time, Naruto had only practiced Gaizenryu not long ago, and his strength was far from what it is now. If it weren't for the Fugaku couple to resolve the crisis in time, the consequences could be disastrous. Maybe it will become the first JinchuRiki in history to defect at the age of 5. The Fugaku couple are the only ones in the entire Konaha village who helped Naruto. That helps without a hint of malice. Naruto has always remembered it in his heart, returning a favor many times more. This is Naruto's credo. Uzumaki Naruto must avenge any grudge, and repay any kindness. In the next, accidental chance arranged by Naruto, Naruto, inadvertently, helped the Konaha guards a lot, again. After coming and going, Naruto became acquainted with Fugaku and his wife, and they had contacts. At first Fugaku did not dare to contact Naruto, and the Uchiha clan is now in an embarrassing position in Konaha. The power to achieve high and low. I can't enter Konaha's high level, but I have a little privilege. Because of the power of the Konaha security department, Uchiha has fallen out with many Konaha families, large and small, and because of the Nine Tails incident, the Sharingan in the eyes of Nine Tails has been suspected, and has been pushed out to the border of the village. It is a situation where you can walk out of Konaha village within a few steps. Contradictions continued to intensify, almost to the point where everyone shouts and beats. From Fugaku's point of view, there is no way to see that someone is deliberately creating conflicts and deliberately provoking, and he has absolutely no way to solve the problem. People are doing things against the arrogant character of the Uchiha family. Uchiha's character with eyes above the top is destined to become the target of public criticism. Coupled with the most important combat power in the clan, Uchiha Shisui disappeared inexplicably a year ago. There are various indications that it is very likely that he has been killed, and it is most likely related to Konaha. The momentum of the main combat faction in the clan is getting bigger and bigger. Honest people are forced to kill in a fit of rage, let alone Uchiha with his eyes above the top. As the patriarch himself, he couldn't suppress the voices of rebellion in the clan. Internal and external troubles made Fugaku's spirit tense all the time, and 2 years passed like this. Finally he figured it out and relieved. The situation of the Uchiha clan is already so bad, how bad could it be? Let it go bad. Every day counts. His own son, Uchiha Itachi, became Anbu, serving as the hub of communication between Uchiha and the high-level Konaha. Drag. The voice of the main combat faction in the clan is getting louder and louder. Hold down. Drag. Anyway, you can drag it. If you really can't hold back, let's finish playing together in 1 shot and 2 episodes. Destroy it. Hurry up, I'm tired. Single quote. This Uchiha, whoever can move it, Fugaku is doing his best. Fugaku, who has figured everything out, no longer prevents him from interacting with Naruto. Naruto's experience is actually very similar to Uchiha's. When Konaha was founded, if there was no Uchiha, maybe Konaha would not be what Konaha is now. If it weren't for Naruto and the fourth generation couple, Konoha would have been ruined in the Nine Tails Rebellion. They are all heroes of Konoha, but they have never enjoyed the treatment of heroes, except suspicion. Because they are facing a group of ungrateful villains. Both were squeezed out by the village, feared by the higher-ups, and even wanted to control them. Fugaku let go, and Makoto naturally, needless to say, Makoto actually feels sorry for Naruto when the child of his former best friend ended up like this, but her Yamato Nautico character is destined not to take the initiative to talk to her husband, let alone trouble your husband. Now that I have this opportunity to take care of Naruto, I will naturally not let it go. Do you want to help Fugaku? Fourth generation's voice sounded from the bottom of Naruto's heart. The time spent together has also given fourth generation a more or less understanding of Naruto's character. Naruto never does wasted work. I would never come to the Uchiha clan without a purpose. Naturally, Naruto didn't hide his thoughts. Naruto really wanted to save Uchiha, more precisely the Fugaku couple, if he could save Uchiha along the way. The main thing is that the current Uchiha is not of one mind, and it is unrealistic to save them all. Maybe Uchiha still thinks that you, Naruto, hindered them from launching a coup and seizing power. Others don't think so, but Uchiha's words may be true. Why, it's a kindness, or I really can't understand some people's behavior. Konoha's behavior of forcing his own people to death in one village's bloody mist policy can be called the two gods in the ninja world who play cruelly on themselves. After the Uchiha genocide incident in the original book, Cloud Shinobi didn't take advantage of this opportunity to do something. It's really Konoha's fate. At that time, Cloud Shinobi attacked Konoha and could stop it. Is it the old third Hokage or the Shimura Danzo who sealed a bridge? Or those two Konoha consultants who only know, right. Or the group of Konoha Jonin who haven't fully grown up yet? Is it blocked? Can't stop it. In the second year of the Nine Tails incident, that is, the Hyuga Hazashi incident has exposed the fact that Konoha is strong on the outside but hard on the inside. Whether it is ZZ factors or other things, the patriarchs of the big clans in their village almost handed over. What does this mean? It's a pity that Raikage is a muscular brain. He seems to be wise and foolish, but he is actually a reckless man, and his IQ is just like that. Otherwise, taking advantage of Uchiha's extermination of Konoha's strength, and combining with Sand Shinobi to kill Konoha, there will be all kinds of bicycles. Fourth generation, if you were still alive, Uchiha's situation wouldn't be as bad as it is now. Well, I had already discussed with Fugaku a month ago, to divide the power of the Konoha Security Department, and the Uchiha Patriarch officially joined the Konoha Patriarch meeting. It's a pity that I haven't waited for the official implementation. Fourth generation is not a disciple of second Hokage, and has not been brainwashed by second Hokage to be extremely jealous of Uchiha. In his philosophy, there is no such thing as ninja can lose, Uchiha must die. It is the truth to unite our compatriots. In this situation, can you help them, Naruto? Fourth generation asked, and if possible, he also hoped that Naruto could help his old friend. At least Uchiha, who is a member of Konoha, should not be treated like this. It's hopeless, it can't be cured, just wait for death. Naruto blurted out without thinking. Operator. I thought Naruto could say 1, 2, 3, but who would have thought that Naruto would say that? How come? Now there are only two paths before Uchiha. Either compromise with Konoha, or launch a coup. I'm sure you can't beat Konoha. Staging a coup is a dead end. The Uchiha family has a unique Sharingan, which can rival Konoha Jonin as long as the 3 Tomo Sharingan is activated. Great, right. Question. How many Sango Jades are there in total for the Uchiha clan? Not everyone in the Uchiha family can open their eyes. Sharingan is much more difficult to open than white eyes. There are many people in the Uchiha family who have not opened their eyes and have no ninja talent. No matter how strong the Sango Jade is, how many Jonin can a Sango Jade beat? Is 10 Jonin enough for one? The shit will be beaten out by you. Against a village with the strength of a family. The last way Yoruichi clan who did this, there is only one single seedling Kagaya Kimimaro left in the whole clan. Unless someone as strong as Uchiha Madara is in charge, it's just a dream. The second way to compromise with Konoha is also a dead end. The Konoha executives made up their minds to kill Uchiha. You run to compromise with the enemy who wants to kill you. Maybe we can really live a little longer, but in the end. Or a dead end. It is too difficult for Uchiha to break the game. The fourth generation sighed. Should we just sit there and watch and can't do anything? Fourth generation. Naruto suddenly said, looking at fourth generation with a strange face, and said, I can't believe you didn't expect that. Is it a mediocrity to be the fourth generation of Hokage? Especially before he died, he had already seen the problem of the Uchiha clan. If he really followed the plan that the fourth generation and Fugaku had discussed at the beginning, it might really solve the crisis of Uchiha. How could it be possible to do this? Naruto was surprised when he said a word, playing a silly game of teasing. Didn't I want you to have a sense of accomplishment? Under Naruto's contemptuous gaze, fourth generation touched his nose in embarrassment, and couldn't help but ask, Naruto, are you really only 8 years old? I am 9 years old. In addition to the above 2 roads, the third road. Leave Konaha. Indeed, if you fight, you can't provoke, you can't afford to provoke, and you can only become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered if you surrender. Can't you run? If the Uchiha clan is determined to escape, based on the location of the Uchiha clan, it is not a problem to break through Konoha's barrier. Those Uchiha clan civilians may not be able to run very far, but there will always be 1 or 2 Uchiha clan members of the Sengoku level who will survive. As long as they continue to spend their lives incognito and safely, the blood of the Uchiha clan will continue, and it may become the largest clan in the ninja world at some point. It's a pity that leaving Konoha is also particular. If it is a direct defection, with the arrogance of the Uchiha clan, do you want them to escape like a bereaved dog? It would be better to kill them directly. The Uchiha clan usually pulls in 25 to 80,000, but they are actually as good as the militant idiots of the Yoruichi clan. They are all a group of great smarts who can't see themselves clearly. For the so-called honor and poor self-esteem, he refused to back down after being beaten to death. The question is, where does the ninja get the honor? Not a samurai. The fourth generation has already made a follow-up plan with Fugaku because it has seen the nature of the Uchiha clan. But before it was officially implemented, he died because of the Nine Tails incident. The fourth generation is gone, Fugaku is stunned, Konoha's high-level officials collectively suppressed it, forming an embarrassing situation for the Uchiha clan. If there are no special circumstances, the fate of the Uchiha clan is sealed. Either break it with force. The Sengoku of the Uchiha clan were collectively upgraded, and became a group of Mangekyo. A group of Mangekyo can push Konoha with a Gundam. It's just that the possibility of this is almost zero. Or it can only be, the strong man breaks his arm. Give up part, transfer part. Give up some unwise people who can't see the situation clearly, and keep your vitality. It sounds the same as running away from the family, but it is different. One initiative is in Konoha, and the other is in Uchiha. What Naruto said was straightforward, and the fourth generation also agreed with him very much. This is indeed the only feasible method, so he asked, so Naruto, is there any way you can transfer that part of the Uchiha tribe? How could I have a way? Naruto hasn't learned teleportation from Kakarot yet, and Kakarot didn't know how to teleport when he was training on Kaiwangshin. It's absolutely unrealistic for Naruto to fight and let him take people away. Yes, he couldn't blow up Konoha with a Kamepai Qigong. Although he had thought about it, he felt that simply blowing up Konoha was not enough. Fourth generation, looks like you're kidding me, there's nothing you can do about it. I can't help it, but fourth generation you can. Fourth Hokage has the fastest power in the ninja world, and can freely travel through space. Flying Thunder God Technique. Fourth generation's eyes darkened slightly upon hearing this, and he shook his head resolutely. Me? Impossible, I'm just a dead person now. Yes, but that doesn't stop you from using Flying Thunder God. Fourth generation was stunned. Do you want to learn Flying Thunder God? I want to learn this technique. Naruto nodded first, not hiding his desire for the Flying Thunder God technique, and then shook his head, but not now. Now is not enough time to start learning Flying Thunder God. I have a solution. It is theoretically feasible. It depends on whether you are willing or not, fourth generation. Fourth generation's heart sank slightly, and he whispered, what way? Naruto lowered his voice very low, causing the curious Nine Tails behind the sealed door to listen carefully. Only 3 words could be heard vaguely. Kai, chakra, shadow clone. In fact, the principle is very simple. Simply put, it is to combine chi and chakra. Naruto separates shadow clone, and 4th generation integrates part of its own chakra into Naruto's shadow clone for remote control. The thinking of shadow clone is the projection of its own consciousness, which itself is just a group of chakra. 4th generation integrates its own chakra into Naruto's shadow clone. In theory, Naruto does not snatch control, 4th generation can be controlled. After hearing this, 4th generation pondered and analyzed for a while, and it was theoretically feasible. This method seems like puppetry, just no chakra line remote control. The only downside is that you can't leave Naruto too far away. The moon is dark and the wind is high, and it is time to sneak in. Uchiha clan land. Fugaku sat cross-legged in the study, drinking bitter tea by himself. The situation of the Uchiha family is getting more and more difficult. Just today, there was another heated discussion within the clan about the future of the Uchiha clan. The forces of the main battle faction have gradually gained the upper hand. This time, the voices were surprisingly loud, almost including 70% of the clan members, and even the clan leader himself was almost unable to suppress it. It is said that after the gathering within the clansmen of the main combat faction had another small gathering. Its contents are unknown. It seems that the tribe's resentment towards Konaha has reached a critical point. The bad things don't stop there. As the link between the Uchiha clan and Konaha's senior management, his eldest son seems to have hidden a lot from him recently. It is understandable for children to have their own ideas when they grow up. Only, just when Fugaku was secretly sad, a familiar faint fragrance wafted into Fugaku's nostrils, and his warm body was pressed against his back. When Yu's fingers lightly pressed Fugaku's temples and rubbed them lightly. "Thank you, Makoto." Fugaku held Makoto's right hand lightly, with a rare tenderness in his eyes. Uchiha Makoto just shook his head lightly, looking at his husband's temples that were gradually turning gray from years of distress, and said suddenly, "Fugaku, why don't we leave Konaha?" Since taking over the position of Uchiha clan chief, the smile has gradually disappeared from Fugaku's face, and it has almost disappeared in recent years. Even her, a housewife who doesn't care about worldly affairs, can clearly feel the increasingly dignified atmosphere in the clan and the exclusion of the residents of Konaha village. "My husband is under unimaginable pressure." A woman's view. Fugaku shook his head with a wry smile. "Leave? Where can we go? Can we go? Konaha will not let the Uchiha clan leave. Most of the tribe would not agree to leave Konaha either. I am the patriarch, and there are some things I have to do." Fugaku felt a strange smell in the surrounding air just after he finished speaking. I saw his whole body trembling slightly, his eyes condensed slightly, and he said in a deep voice, "Who?" Following Fugaku's gaze, there were 2 hooded strangers standing in front of the empty window sill. "There is an intruder in the house. Your Excellency, what is the purpose of visiting late at night?" Fugaku straightened up suddenly, looked at the visitor with a solemn expression, a red light flashed in his eyes, and 3 black jadeite spun wildly in his eyes. "If you can bypass the patrolling guards and hide from your perception, your strength must not be bad. Judging from the attire, it's neither Anbu nor Root, and you don't know if it's an enemy or a friend." Single quote. Ding, Uchiha Makoto's fingertips revealed a tinge of coldness, and the moonlight reflected the luster of metal. Makoto was also a ninja before marrying Fugaku. She was a classmate of 4th generation and Kushina. Even if she becomes a housewife now, she can't hide her nature as a ninja master. "I'm really sorry for trespassing," the tall figure said apologetically, and slowly took off the hood on his head. Both Makoto and Fugaku's eyes widened after seeing the person coming. "Fugaku, Makoto, long time no see." The late-night visitor turned out to be the 4th generation who should have died. No matter what, Fugaku would never believe such a thing. I saw the red color in Fugaku's eyes, and the guyu in his eyes were spinning at a faster speed, almost connecting together, and there was a trace of anger in the deep voice. "Master 4th generation died because he sealed 9 tails. I saw his body buried in the ground with my own eyes. That body will not lie. Who is your Excellency? How dare you pretend to be Lord 4th generation?" Once 4th generation's answer is slightly unsatisfactory, he will definitely launch an attack. Fugaku. Fourth generation had a wry smile on his face, scratched his chin in embarrassment, and spread his hands forward. This is a bit troublesome to explain, I am indeed dead. This sentence surprised Fugaku. But my soul has not yet fully traveled to the Pure Land. Part of it remains in Naruto's body. And then I became what I am now. To make a long story short, fourth generation can explain his current situation in a few words. Soul. Fugaku's face became more serious when he heard the words, you said you are the soul now. The theory of the soul is a well-recognized secret in the ninja world. Because of the forbidden technique impure world reincarnation and the transformation technique, everyone believes in the existence of the soul. But it is somewhat unheard of to say that someone's soul escaped from the Pure Land by itself. Then Fugaku looked at the small figure, and Naruto. Serious uncle, I'm very sorry for being here late at night. Naruto said unhurriedly while taking off the hood on his head, some things cannot be said during the day. It's really Naruto. Single quote. Fugaku and Makoto looked at each other, shock in each other's eyes. At this moment, there were countless questions in the hearts of the two of them. Maybe the breath of fourth generation is very strange and different from when the two met, but Naruto is indeed that Naruto. In the end, what happened? Fugaku sat back again, looked at the fourth generation, and Naruto said in a deep voice, and raised his chin slightly at Makoto, signaling for him to close the doors and windows to prevent the third person from eavesdropping. It starts with Nine Tails Night. The unique voice of the fourth generation sounded, and Fugaku's thoughts also returned to the thrilling night a few years ago during his narration. The coming of the Nine Tails, the blocking of the roots, the passing of the fourth generation. Everything has changed since that night. You mean, a masked man attacked you that night? After listening to fourth generation's narration, Fugaku's already dignified expression became even more dignified, and his frowning almost killed a fly. That masked Sharingan is the one who controls Nine Tails. The fourth generation, who should have died, appeared in front of him. On the night of Nine Tails, there was a masked man with a Sharingan, who controlled Nine Tails. The shocks one after another made him not know what to say. It wasn't until fourth generation talked about how he finally sealed part of his soul into Naruto that Fugaku recovered. So that's the truth about Nine Tails Night. Because of a masked man, a Uchiha tribe with a Mangekyo Sharingan who suddenly appeared. Uchiha who is living outside should not exist. Since that night, I have searched for information on all the Uchiha people since I joined Konaha. Information of all Uchiha people is recorded. There is no Uchiha out there at all. Mangekyo, could it be? As soon as the words fell, Fugaku was shocked, and suddenly thought of a possibility, a terrible possibility. One person, one Uchiha tribe did not record it. That is also the only Uchiha tribe who harbors the greatest malice towards both Uchiha and Konoha. Fugaku was shocked, and slowly spit out a name from his mouth. Uchiha Madara, or descendants of Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara, the current ancestor-level existence of the Uchiha clan. When Uchiha Madara returned from his travels in the ninja world, he expressed that he wanted to lead the tribe out of Konoha. Unexpectedly, none of the tribe who had been content with the status quo was willing to leave with Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara, who was betrayed by the tribe, finally fought a big battle with first Hokage in the Valley of the End, and finally ended with the victory of first generation and the defeat of Uchiha Madara. At the beginning, Uchiha Madara did die in the battle with first generation in the Valley of the End, but who knows if he has any blood left outside. If Uchiha Madara really has blood on the outside, it is likely to be the masked man who fought against the fourth generation. If the masked man is really a descendant of Uchiha Madara, then he will definitely continue to target Uchiha and Konoha. Avenge your father and destroy the betrayed clansmen. Everything seemed to make sense. A descendant of Uchiha Madara. Fourth generation muttered, chewing on the name over and over again. The fourth generation grew up listening to the stories of the first generation. Uchiha Madara often appears as the villain with the greatest evil in the stories. He is no stranger to the name Uchiha Madara. Did he actually fight the offspring of such a legendary person? The Fugaku couple and everyone in the fourth generation looked solemn. Except for Naruto's weird face. He does know the real identity of the masked man. Although their guesses are logically sound, they are only guesses. Madara was also an old X-man when he died in his 90s. Where did the offspring come from? As the successor of Madara's will, Obito can barely be regarded as a descendant of Madara, right? Should. No matter who it is, the most important thing now is not his identity. Seeing the direction of several people getting more and more crooked, Naruto couldn't help reminding. They are not here to discuss the identity of the masked man. According to the current situation, there is not much time left for Uchiha. Yes, Naruto is right. The fourth generation said and turned to Uchiha Fugaku again. Fugaku, the purpose of my coming here is to help Uchiha. The situation in Uchiha is very bad right now. It would be nice if I were alive, but I'm dead now. Fugaku, do you Uchiha want to leave Konaha? Does Uchiha want to leave Konaha? Leaving Konaha? Of course I would, if I could. The whole family was repelled and targeted by Konaha, not everyone could feel this feeling. If someone else said it to him, there is a high probability that Fugaku would reply, stupid or a woman's opinion, as before. But fourth generation can really do it. He was able to get Uchiha out of Konaha. Use the Flying Thunder God technique from the fourth generation. Space-time ninjutsu can cross the barrier, cross the Konaha border, and reach the destination directly. So where can Uchiha go? The land of water, the land of earth, the land of thunder or the land of wind? Now that how to solve this problem, the next problem will follow. Where is the destination? Where can Uchiha go? The Sharingan of the Uchiha family is notoriously priceless on the black market. It can instantly raise an ordinary person to Jonin's combat power. Even if there are various side effects, its value is still high. Every man is innocent and conceives his crime. Naruto stretched out a finger and shook it. Neither, it's the country of the vortex. The entire ninja world is composed of 5 major countries and many small countries. Apart from the country of fire where Konaha is located, there are 4 major countries: the country of wind, the country of earth, the country of thunder, and the country of water. As a defeated country in World War III, Sunagaku was forced to sign an alliance agreement with Konaha, and its own development was greatly restricted under that unequal treaty. Implementing the so-called elite policy is actually facing a situation where even the ninjas in the country cannot support themselves. In this case, don't say that you can keep the Uchiha family, you can't keep it yourself. In addition, the current 4th Kazekage is extremely jealous of talents, and even the geniuses in his own ninja village can be resold. Don't expect Uchiha to go to them to have a good end, maybe they will be sold to Konaha. Sunagaku, land of the winds, will not be considered. In Kurigaku, the country of water, because of the blood mist policy implemented in the village, almost all the blood successors of the family were slaughtered, let alone the outsiders. Kurigaku, the land of water, will not be considered. As for the land of earth and the land of thunder, they can be considered, that is, they do not reject the blood successor limit family, but welcome them very much, especially Cloud Shinobi village in the land of thunder can do everything in order to obtain the blood succession limit. It's just that these 2 places are too far away from Konaha, and secondly, who can guarantee that the other party will choose to accept Uchiha instead of spying on Uchiha's blood? It is unwise to place one's destiny in the hands of others. It would be better to find another way. As for why not choose other small countries? First of all, the country of iron is a permanent neutral country, which is the foundation of the country of iron. They won't interfere in ninja affairs. The Uchiha families joining the Iron Kingdom is tantamount to taking the initiative to intervene in the dispute, and they absolutely cannot allow it. The country of rain and the country of fields will not be explained. Small countries such as the country of grass, the country of birds, the country of Kawa, and the country of Taki have their own ninja villages, with a lot of people and miscellaneous people. They are reluctant to protect themselves, let alone have the ability to guarantee the safety of the Uchiha clan, and they will not consider it. The country of Uzumaki is different. The Uzumaki clan who used to live there were destroyed by Kurigaku, and the country was once occupied by Mist Ninja and became a vassal of Mist Ninja. However, due to the constant civil strife caused by the policies in the Blood Mist, Wurin can't even control himself, let alone manage the country of the Vortex. The current Uzumaki country is in a semi-abandoned state. It belongs to the land of the 3 without a name, without political power, and without tolerance. As the saying goes, the most dangerous place is also the safest place. This is the best place for Uchiha clan to develop. No one would have thought that the Uchiha clan would go to the country of Uzumaki, hiding under Konoha's nose. Of course, in addition to the country of vortex, there are also countries of snow and waves to choose from. After listening to Naruto's explanation, Fugaku felt that the plan was feasible. When asked how the country of the vortex should develop, Naruto only used 16 words as a summary. Reserve strength, hibernate, wait for the opportunity, and make a comeback. Or it can be said to build high walls, accumulate food widely, and become king slowly. As expected of the fourth generation, they taught their son so well. In terms of looking at things and analyzing problems, he is even better than Itachi. After hearing Naruto's summary, Fugaku also had to admire in his heart. Apparently, Fugaku attributed Naruto's excellent performance to the teachings of the fourth generation. Of course, Naruto will be very dissatisfied if he knows that Fugaku compares him to Itachi. Naruto doesn't like Uchiha Itachi, neither now nor in the future. This migration is destined to abandon part of the tribe. Although it is extremely unwilling, it is also impossible. As for the specific list, just leave it to Fugaku to handle it alone. As the patriarch, you must know the character of the clan. Serious uncle. Before leaving, Naruto looked at Fugaku and said solemnly, confirm the list and time as soon as possible, so as not to have long nights and dreams. This should only be done by people you can trust. Naruto will help Uchiha. Apart from the so-called repayment and dislike, there are also some reasons of his own. The current Konaha is Naruto's enemy, and the current Konaha is also Uchiha's enemy. The enemy of the enemy is a friend. Naruto helps no matter what purpose Uchiha makes sense. Of course I will choose the country of vortex. In addition to the above factors, there are also some reasons. Everything is going well, fourth generation. Leaving from the Uchiha tribe, Naruto and the fourth generation soon came to the depths of the Konoha forest. Fourth generation nodded and said with some emotion, I thought it would take a while, but I didn't expect Fugaku to believe what we said so easily. He wouldn't be so vigilant in normal times. It seems that he is really serious. There is no other way. It's like a man who fell into the water grasping at the last straw, even if he knows it's fake, he will firmly grasp it. This is his only chance. Although what Naruto and the fourth generation say is true. It is embarrassing that Konoha's #1 wealthy family in the past has become so desolate. With a bang, the fourth generation in front of Naruto turned into a cloud of white smoke, and chakra returned to Naruto's body. The fourth generation in front of Fugaku is Naruto's avatar, controlled by the real fourth generation in Naruto's body, and its image is transformed by the reverse harem technique. The kind with its own masculine beauty effects. That's why Fugaku felt a little strange, whether it was breath or chakra. It's just that the reverse harem technique is much more advanced than the general transformation technique. Even Kagaya-ji can be tricked, and ordinary people can't recognize it at all. Konoha Hokage Building, Hokage Office. Bang, the door of the office was pushed open, and Danzo, who was leaning on a cane, rushed in angrily. Sarutobi, I need an explanation. There are only two things that can make Shimura Danzo so excited, one involving Hokage and the other involving Uchiha. It's not the former, it's the latter. Danzo, third generation signaled Anbu, who was lurking, to leave with his eyes, and several black shadows rushed out of the door. Disappeared quickly, and before leaving, he did not forget to close the door that Danzo pushed open. Uchiha has been in contact with Nine-Tails Jinchuriki recently. Danzo said angrily, you know that, Sarutobi. Why don't you stop them? Be safe, Danzo. Of course third generation knew about this, he had read Naruto's diary, which clearly stated the cause and effect. Why does Naruto have a crush on the Fugaku couple? Isn't that what Shimura Danzo did? You know, Naruto has grown up now. Can no longer be treated like before. He needs the influence of love. The current Nine-Tails Jinchuriki will not use the power of Nine Tails. Danzo said to himself. The more he talked, the more excited he was. The crutch in his hand was almost flying. That evil family must not continue to touch Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Once they master the power of Nine Tails, the consequences will be disastrous. According to the school teacher's report, that kid has a good physical talent. I think Guy can be his Jonin instructor in the future. Third generation didn't answer Danzo, but talked about another thing. Sarutobi, this old man is talking to you. After hearing third generation's answer, Danzo became more emotional. Uchiha is contacting Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. It's very dangerous. Have you forgotten what happened 9 years ago? Once Nine-Tails is released, there will be no second fourth generation here. It's just that he didn't say fourth generation was okay. Shimura Danzo. Third generation's voice suddenly rose, which startled Danzo. Usually, third generation would only call him Danzo, but calling him by his full name only meant that third generation was really angry. Facing third generation's gaze, Danzo's heart skipped a beat. About that night, there are some things I need you to explain to me. What happened that night? Third generation was sitting upright and looking at Danzo with a complicated expression, and there seemed to be something inexplicable hidden in his slightly cloudy eyes. Danzo knew in his heart that the third generation must have some evidence that he didn't know, otherwise he wouldn't be so sure. Could it be that? Impossible, that matter except me, no one else knows. Sarutobi, what do you want to ask? Danzo is Danzo after all, and his inner quality is extremely hard. Even if dozens of things he did in the past flashed through his mind, he still said without blushing and heartbeat, what happened back then must be the Uchiha family did it, but no substantial evidence has been found. Regardless of what the third generation has mastered, let Uchiha take the blame first. Whether it's really related to Uchiha is debatable. Third generation neither affirmed nor denied, but looked at Danzo with burning eyes. Someone saw you touching a masked man before that night. What is your explanation for this? It was this masked man who killed his wife Paipazi, and it was this masked man who attacked Kushina while she was in childbirth and released Nine-Tails, the real culprit of the Nine-Tails incident. Before the Nine-Tails incident, Shimura Danzo actually met the culprit. What it means is self-evident. This is where third generation is most angry. Danzo simply challenged his bottom line again and again. For the sake of Hokage, Danzo even wanted to assassinate the third generation, let alone the fourth generation. If the Nine-Tails incident really involved collusion with people outside the village, the whole Konaha can only be made by him, Danzo. Get rid of fourth generation, blame Uchiha. This is killing two birds with one stone. At that time, he will make a strong debut as the fifth Hokage. Who would have thought that after the death of the fourth generation, the third generation would come back to power and regain the power of Hokage? What would you like to explain about this? What do you want to explain? What to explain? Explanation. This question was like a thunderbolt, echoing in Danzo's mind. Oops, this matter was really discovered by Sarutobi. Single quote. Danzo was shocked and angry, but with his city, even though there was a huge wave in his heart, his face remained unchanged. Never expected this to be the case. He did meet the masked man from the Nine-Tails event before Nine-Tails night. Otherwise, how could he have deployed root ninjas in the Uchiha tribe in advance? What kind of masked man? I don't know. Can't admit it, definitely can't admit it. Single quote. Based on what I know about Sarutobi, if I really have substantive evidence, Sarutobi will not tell me these things here, but directly do it. He is cheating on me. He is cheating on me. As long as the old man does not admit him, there is nothing the old man can do. Single quote. Danzo kept cheering himself up in his heart. This is a psychological game, whoever reveals his flaws will lose. Danzo, who is as thick-skinned as the corner of a city wall, even if you smash the evidence in his face, he won't admit it if he says he doesn't admit it. Last year, Uchiha Shisui's death. Did you participate in it? Third generation didn't see Danzo's flaws, and didn't continue to entangle on this issue, but threw out another question. It was a question, but it was affirmative. His body lost his eyes. The autopsy report was dug up. You also participated in Orochimaru's experiment. And first generation cell fusion. Danzo, is there something you haven't reported to me? How many things are you hiding from me? The third generation stared at Danzo solemnly, and issued a warning to Danzo in an unprecedented solemn tone. Danzo, you're overreaching with some things, let's stop. HMPH, there is no need to explain what the old man did. Danzo said calmly, but the slight trembling of his fingers betrayed him. At this moment, he was really panicked. If it was just a guess, now he can be sure that Sarutobi is some evidence is available. This proves that any one of them, alone, is enough to condemn him to death. Everything I do is for Konaha. Danzo didn't even react. Saying this by himself is tantamount to admitting in disguise that everything has something to do with him. So far, third generation has only talked about it, and has not produced substantive evidence, but it is so true that Danzo has already believed it. This time Danzo lost the game of mind. The conversation between the two eventually broke up. Third generation did not impose any penalties on Danzo in the end. After all, although Danzo's methods are despicable, they are also for the good of Konaha. At least third generation thinks so. Konaha needs darkness. Sarutobi, you actually suspect that the old man is colluding with outsiders. The point is not really colluding with outsiders, but that the third generation suspected him. Although this is true, it is the third generation's fault that the third generation suspects him. Coming out of the Hokage building, Danzo's face remained gloomy, and the only remaining one eye showed a sinister and vicious look, and when he looked at Uchiha's position, he showed a hint of greed. In Danzo's dictionary only a dead Uchiha is a good Uchiha. For example, Uchiha Shisui whose eyes were gouged out by Danzo. His own plan must be implemented as soon as possible, and the affairs of the Uchiha family must be carried out as soon as possible. It cannot be delayed any longer. Take the power of Uchiha and the first generation as soon as possible. When the time comes, Sarutobi. Hey, nothing to be afraid of. After Danzo left, third generation smoked his pipe alone, his whole body slumped on his seat like a deflated ball, his face instantly aged a lot. Mr. Hattori, you were right. What happened back then, what happened to Shisui, are all related to Elder Danzo. As the voice of third generation fell, a figure slowly walked out from the shadows. It was a middle-aged man with a serious face in a light blue kimono. In addition to Danzo and third generation, there is a third person in Hokage's office. With Danzo's strength, he didn't even notice it. Master Hokage. The man called Mr. Hattori raised his glasses and reminded him softly, "This is the end of the matter, you don't need to feel sad in secret. The most urgent thing is to solve the matter of the Uchiha clan as soon as possible. It can't be delayed any longer." Third generation was able to swindle Danzo out, and it was this man known as Hattori who gave him advice. Tell Anbu to call Itachi over. I have something to say to him. Yes, Master Hokage, Hattori said respectfully. Soon, under Anbu's notification, Itachi, dressed in Anbu's black clothes, came outside Hokage's office to wait for his errand. When Hattori passed by Itachi, Itachi frowned slightly, and couldn't help but look at him more. This person gave him a strange yet familiar feeling. I always feel like I've seen it somewhere. Such a thought flashed through Itachi's mind, and he pushed open the door of Hokage's office. Hattori walked out of the Hokage building, across the bustling market, to an empty corner. He took off his glasses, revealing the vertical animal pupils in his eyes, and then turned into a puff of white smoke with a bang. Turns out, he's just a shadow clone. At night, the moon hangs on the branches. Itachi, who was full of thoughts, returned to his home and said to his father who was drinking tea, "Father, have you gotten too close to Nine Tails Jinchuriki recently?" "Did you say Naruto? He is a good boy." Putting down the teacup in his hand, he praised softly. Without Naruto, he is still worrying about the future of the Uchiha clan. "Father, did you, Uchiha, get too close to Nine Tails Jinchuriki?" Seeing that his father didn't take it seriously, Itachi emphasized his tone again. "Presumptuous." Fugaku yelled angrily when he heard the words, looked at his eldest son and said in a deep voice, "What identity are you talking to me with? Son, or Konaha Anbu? Are you warning me? Warning me this father? Or warning me this Uchiha patriarch? Itachi, remember your identity, you are Uchiha Itachi." No wonder Fugaku was so angry. From his point of view, Itachi really overstepped. But from Konaha's point of view, there is nothing wrong with what Itachi said. Itachi took a deep breath and said, "I'm sorry, I was rude." Has the situation reached such a critical moment? Konaha couldn't bear it anymore. For Uchiha's last hope, for Sasuke, it is necessary to speed up the progress. Fugaku thought so, and Itachi thought of another dimension. Thinking about his father's various behaviors recently, it seems that he is not as serious as before, and the sadness on his face has eased a lot. Reminiscing about befriending Naruto, who is Nine Tails Jinchuriki. At this moment Uchiha Itachi enlightened. Uchiha can't hold it anymore. Want to control Nine Tails JinchuRiki, control Nine Tails. Take control of Nine Tails to launch a coup d'etat. This will surely kill a lot of people. I have to speed up the progress. The perspectives of the two are different, and the results of looking at the problem are also different. The two father and son chatting across servers with a ghost in mind ended the conversation hastily. Undercurrents surged in all directions, and an invisible shadow shrouded the entire Konaha village. Time passed day by day. Whether it's Uchiha or Konaha, what's everyone waiting for? This situation continued until the voice of the main battle faction completely overwhelmed Fugaku as the patriarch. Yes, the Uchiha clan, who can't stand Konaha, is plotting a coup d'etat. At the same time, Konaha, who received the news, also plans to attack the Uchiha family in the near future. Your people, Itachi, are about to launch a coup. In front of Uchiha Itachi, a man in a black robe and an orange-red mask with black stripes said, "That group of ignorant and arrogant fools don't know, such a choice will only send them to their graves. It was like this in the past, and it's like this now. They are all short-sighted and without foresight." This is exactly the masked man in the Nine Tails incident. He found Itachi a long time ago. The ideas of the two hit it off. Intending to carry out the Uchiha genocide plan, Itachi quietly listened to the masked man's comments on Uchiha as if he was venting, while quietly wiping the samurai sword in his hand. "When are you going to do it?" The masked man seemed to have vented enough, and returned to his previous calm appearance. "According to the agreement, I will help you." Hearing what the masked man said, Itachi stopped what he was doing. "Just tonight, Sasuke is going to Konaha training ground tonight to practice, and he will come back later than usual. You are such a gentle and good big brother, why don't you want him to see you slaughter your tribe?" The masked man said playfully. "Anyway, he will know after tonight." Itachi denied it. "My purpose is for his Sharingan. As you said, only the blood of a brother can activate the power of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. I am looking forward to that power. Really, that kind of power will make you deeply intoxicated. You will like it." The masked man was noncommittal, and did not delve into this issue, but just took a deep look at Itachi. "Anyway, after tonight, the Uchiha clan will become history, and there will only be 3 Uchiha clansmen left in the entire ninja world. Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Itachi, and Uchiha Sasuke. On the other side, the Uchiha clan. Fugaku, are you ready?" The 4th generation said to Fugaku. "The teleportation barrier of Flying Thunder God is ready, and the country of the vortex has also been arranged, and you can go there at any time." "Just tonight," Fugaku sighed, looking at his big house with a little sadness and reluctance. "I can no longer suppress the clansmen of the main combat faction, and Konaha is also planning to do something to Uchiha, it's completely gone. There is no possibility of reconciliation. Me and Naruto will stay to help you tonight." "Naruto?" Fugaku frowned slightly when he heard that there was Naruto. "Isn't it too dangerous for Naruto to stay? If something happens?" 4th generation shook his head lightly when he heard the words. "Don't worry, the power this child possesses is beyond your imagination. Tonight is destined to be an extraordinary night, and Konaha, the masked man, and Uchiha all chose today by coincidence. The quiet street is desolate and desolate. Under the dim yellow street lamps, it attracts flying mosquitoes, and a bloody full moon hangs in the sky. Alluring blood color, just like Nine Tails' night." Fugaku looked up at the sky, feeling uneasy for no reason. As if something was about to happen. "Let's go, everyone." Fugaku took a deep breath and let it out slowly. Under the secret leadership of Fugaku, the Uchiha people stepped into the teleportation array of Flying Thunder God one after another. With the flickering of the runes of Flying Thunder God, their figures disappeared into the silent night sky. There are a total of 120 people. Compared with Uchiha, which has nearly 1,000 people, the number is not large, but compared to the small clan with no more than a dozen people, it is not a lot. It was all Fugaku could muster, and all that he could trust. They departed first as the vanguard of Uchiha. At present, the situation between Konaha and Uchiha is becoming more and more tense, and no one knows when the war will start. 120 clansmen are Uchiha's last hope in case of accident. Fugaku heaved a sigh of relief when he watched the last member of his clan step into the formation of Flying Thunder God and disappear. Now apart from the main fighters and civilians in the clan, only the Fugaku family is left. I will try to persuade the rest of the clan. If possible, I will trouble you again in a few days. Fugaku does not intend to leave now. After all, he is the head of the Uchiha clan. If possible, he still wants to try to persuade look at other clansmen. It's all Uchiha after all. Even if a strong man breaks his wrist, he can't completely ignore it. That's hundreds of clansmen, hundreds of lives. Don't worry, Fugaku. Leave everything to me. At the moment the fourth generation just finished speaking, a sudden change occurred. On the watchtower of the Uchiha clan, the masked man and Uchiha Itachi stood side by side, looking down at the peaceful residence below. Behind them, 3 Uchiha ninjas fell in a pool of blood, life and death unknown. 3 Uchiha, 2 double hook jades and 1 triple hook jade. As the night watch lineup of the Uchiha family already this extravagant. The masked man spoke with neither joy nor sadness in his tone, without any emotion. As if talking about a trivial matter. The 2 were unharmed, and even the traces of the battle could not be seen. Whether it is a double hook jade or a triple hook jade, it is the same in front of them. The strength of the 2 has already surpassed the average clansman by far. Not in one dimension at all. Let's go, Itachi said very coldly, slowly pulling out the samurai sword behind him. Time is running out, don't waste it. Let them die in their sleep. It's really cheap for them. The masked man said, looking at the houses below. A look of hatred appeared in the one eye under the mask. This hatred came and went quickly, so that the person who was immersed in his own world Itachi didn't notice. Boom, 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 the unique siren of the Uchiha clan sounded behind the 2. The 2 were startled and turned around quickly. A Uchiha tribe who had fallen in a pool of blood stood up at some point and rang the alarm. Itachi. The masked man turned to look at Uchiha Itachi, with a flash of anger in his eyes. The masked man thought it was Itachi's mercy, but Itachi was sure that he was absolutely merciless, and he took a fatal injury to the other party, but he didn't know why he didn't die. Now is not the time to explain. Uchiha Itachi leapt forward and instantly came in front of the clansman. The samurai sword in his hand sliced across the opponent's throat, and blood gushed out. The siren stopped abruptly as soon as it sounded, indicating that the vigil ninja who raised the alarm had been killed. The few short alarms just now were enough to cause a warning. The elite of the Uchiha clan will soon be gearing up as fast as they can. This makes the hope of the masked man and Itachi's night attack dashed. It seems that it will take a lot of work. The masked man said calmly, I wanted to make your death easier. For both of them, there is no difference between attacking Uchiha head-on and assassinating and eliminating Uchiha. Because, under Mangekyo are all ants. The door of Fugaku's house was slammed open, and a Uchiha tribe stumbled in. I saw that he was covered in blood, and at the moment he saw Fugaku, he seemed to see hope, and shouted at Fugaku with all his strength. Clan, Patriarch, it's not good, there are enemies. The Elder and the Elite 3 teams have already gone to support you. Hurry up. Before he could finish speaking, his head tilted to the ground without a sound. Is it Konaha? Fugaku and 4th generation were surprised at the same time. Oops, Sasuke hasn't come back yet. Fugaku didn't expect Konaha to attack Uchiha so soon. According to his plan, it will take at least a few more days. Master 4th generation, please send Makoto there first. Fugaku immediately entrusted his wife to the 4th generation, and he himself planned to go out to find his 2 children and see how many people he could save. Fugaku. Makoto looked at her husband worriedly, and Fugaku nodded to her, expressing his reassurance that he would send the child there safely. It is good. The 4th generation was also unambiguous, casting Flying Thunder God technique with Makoto and disappearing into the night sky. Be careful yourself, the next Flying Thunder God teleportation will take some time. The Flying Thunder God technique is not omnipotent, especially the long-distance teleportation with people. It takes some time to do it. If it is the 4th generation himself, it is fine. The problem is that it is just a shadow clone show. Let me take a look. Watching his wife leave, Fugaku slowly opened his eyes. Under the blood-red eyes, the dark Guyu twirled wildly in his eyes. In order to deal with this Uchiha, how much power Konaha has gathered. It's you, Uchiha Itachi. The Uchiha elites who came here first heard the news. The moment they saw Uchiha Itachi, their eyes burst out with hatred. You killed Uchiha Yuto and them. Itachi, do you know what you're doing? You betrayed your own family. You betrayed Uchiha. If eyes can kill, Itachi has been killed countless times. The old man at the head glared at Uchiha Itachi, and the three Guyu in his eyes turned wildly. This old man will kill you with his own hands, and take your head to apologize to the patriarch. Betrayed the family, betrayed the tribe, for the Uchiha clan, Itachi is a crime to be punished. Only you. Not enough. Uchiha Itachi completely ignored the questioning of the clansman, and pointed the samurai sword in his hand at the former clansman. Itachi's move completely angered everyone, and the three Tomo Sharingan opened instantly. Facing the menacing clansman, Uchiha Itachi slowly closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, the Guyu in his eyes were already connected. Mangekyo Sharingan. After a while, the Uchiha residence was filled with flames, and several flame dragons kept churning in the night sky. This is the fire-style ninjutsu that the Uchiha family is best at. It's a pity that the giant dragon came and went faster. The fire dragon just took off and disappeared instantly without a trace, as if what happened just now was just an illusion. The clansmen who were clamoring to kill Itachi just now have fallen in a pool of blood. Itachi just gently wiped the katana in his hand to wipe off the bloodline on it. Even without the Mangekyo Sharingan, Itachi's strength is beyond the reach of ordinary Uchiha. Besides, standing next to him is Uchiha Obito, a masked man who inherits all of Madara's legacy and is even more terrifying. The proud elite of the Uchiha clan was as vulnerable as a newborn baby in front of Obito. Obito can easily take the life of a Uchiha with just one swipe. Strange hollow ability, beyond powerful ninjutsu. No Uchiha is Obito's single enemy. Immediately afterwards, another team of Uchiha came late, looking at the clansmen in a pool of blood and Itachi who was wiping their weapons. The eyes of the Uchiha elites instantly turned red. A blatant attack on Itachi and Obito. It was the familiar Sangoyu in a familiar scene again. It's the familiar Mangekyo again. The shouts of killing instantly resounded throughout the Uchiha tribe. The battle also didn't last long, and soon disappeared. The whole clan fell into an eerie tranquility. The gap between the two sides is really too big, which confirms that sentence. Under Mangekyo are all ants. Uchiha is located at the edge of Konaha, almost separated from the bustling street by a dead forest. Even though a fierce battle was taking place here, it still did not affect other families in Konaha. Maybe one or two ninjas occasionally noticed something unusual in the Uchiha station, but they didn't care about it at all, and they didn't report it. It's all Uchiha there. Proud Uchiha, nasty Uchiha. What does it have to do with them? They have almost no political savvy, and they will never understand what it means to have a cold lips and teeth. Chapter 31. My lord, there is civil unrest in Uchiha. Watching the flames soaring into the sky and then returning to the dark Uchiha residence, black-clothed ninjas wearing various animal masks are lurking in the dense forest not far away. A total of 135 people. Everyone exudes chakra fluctuations no less than elite Chunin level. Anyone in any Konoha family is a genius level ninja. The best of the best. These ninjas are root ninjas affiliated with Danzo. He was ordered to come and exterminate the Uchiha clan. Once Uchiha Itachi fails, these root ninjas are the sharp swords to wipe out Uchiha. In order to be able to successfully eliminate the Uchiha clan, Danzo can be said to have spent a lot of money, and the root ninjas almost came out in full force. Years earlier, third generation had lifted the ban on Danzo long ago, allowing him to mobilize so much power now. These more than 100 root ninjas are the strongest force he has cultivated in controlling the roots, and they are also the most important cards for his Danzo to compete for the position of Hokage. This amount could have doubled if not for the loss of a batch at Rain Shinobi Village a few years ago. Don't worry, it was arranged by Danzo-sama, continue to be vigilant. The root ninja wearing a Fukuro mask asked his subordinates, his voice without the slightest emotion. What about the Nine Tails JinchuRiki? Sleep at home. Another root ninja replied, his voice was like a pool of stagnant water, without any fluctuations. This is the specialty of root ninja. That's good. The root ninja wearing the Fukuro mask nodded and issued the next order. From now on, seal the whole of Uchiha, and no one will be spared. As long as you meet any survivors, kill on the spot. The root ninjas watched the Uchiha resident intently. They were waiting for the final outcome of the Uchiha clan. It was like a group of wolves surrounding an old lion, waiting for its death, dividing up its corpse, and enjoying a delicious meat meal. The silvery moonlight pierced through the shadows of the trees, reflecting blood-red Madara spots on the boundless black ground, like bloodlines swaying on the ground. The bleak woods on the side of the road stand tall one by one, with dewy wet marks, which look like blood under the reflection of the moonlight. Oh no, that is blood. Click, click, click. Slips from the leaves and slaps the ground. At this time, the root leader wearing the Fukuro mask seemed to have sensed something, looked away from the Uchiha clan, looked around, and frowned slightly. This forest seemed too quiet, so quiet that even the insects seemed to have disappeared. The autumn wind rustled, icy cold, as if it wanted to blow away people's souls. The surrounding branches kept swaying, and under the moonlight, there seemed to be countless figures shaking. Dark clouds covered the moon, and the whole land was shrouded in darkness. The original fangs and claws of the forest were also soaked in the dead light, looking so powerless. A faint smell of blood filled the air. Enemy had just yelled the first word, only to hear a gaba, and his neck was twisted by life. The abnormal noise alarmed all the root ninjas present. Hearing the reputation, he saw a figure wearing a hood who couldn't see his face clearly. He was standing at the position of the root ninja who was wearing a Fukuro mask. On the side branch, the neck was twisted like a twist, obviously unable to live. Yi Shao, what are you doing? A root ninja scolded angrily. Listening carefully, there was a trace of fear in that angry voice. The root ninja wearing the Fukuro mask is the leader of the operation and the most powerful root ninja present. However, such a powerful ninja was approached without anyone noticing and his neck was twisted. It's not just the root leader wearing the Fukuro mask, half of the 135 root ninjas have lost contact. This is the real root elite, and it just disappeared without a sound. They have no emotion, but they are afraid. The root ninja known as Night Owl is the person in charge of vigilance in this mission. He has the strongest perception ability among root ninjas. He pointed tremblingly at the place where the hooded monster is. That location, I don't have perceive any chakra. No chakra. This is very scary. Since Sage of Six Paths shared chakra, any creature in the entire ninja world has more or less chakra. No chakra, unless it's not a creature. Not a creature, so what is it? At the moment when all the root ninjas were in shock, a strange and hoarse voice sounded from the hooded man. It's so lively over there, don't be idle, let's go together. Come and play. Right, the hooded monster has come to a root ninja before the word falls. A white ball of light covers the whole body of the root ninja. Hearing a slight boo, the root ninja instantly turns into ashes and is blown by the wind. Blow, float everywhere. As with the killing that started at Uchiha's garrison, the killing started on the root ninja's side as well. Only this time, the root ninja, who was usually a butcher knife, became the one being slaughtered instead. More than 100 root ninjas, like Uchiha elites in front of Obito, are as vulnerable as newborn babies in front of the hooded monster. Their ninjutsu and secret techniques can't touch the hooded monster at all, and as long as the white ball of light in the monster's hand touches them, they will be killed or injured. Crispy ninjas will only be instantly killed when they encounter faster and higher attacking opponents. Now it's unilateral abuse, but even so, these root ninjas did not escape. Their purpose of coming here is to destroy Uchiha, and they must not retreat without Danzo's order. No emotion, said to be good, but also bad. In the end, they couldn't bear this kind of unilateral slaughter, and several root ninjas with broken spirits ran to the village with all their strength, despite the risk of failing the mission and erasing their lives with the spell seal. The hooded man didn't chase after them, just watched them flee. Just as they were about to enter the Konaha gate, a white light suddenly flashed. They have returned to the place where the nightmare began. Back to the hooded demon again. Time and space ninjutsu. Single quote. The white ball of light covered the last root ninja and turned it into dust. Naruto, this power of yours is really strong. Is it the blood succession limit that you developed? The figure of the fourth generation appeared beside the hooded monster, and the white light that brought back the root ninja was the flying thunder god technique of the fourth generation. Fourth generation, it's worse than you. Naruto did not answer fourth generation directly, but took off the hood on his head, and took out a mask to put on his face. At the beginning, you killed 50 Jonin in an instant and shocked the ninja world. I, Uzumaki Naruto, are just picking on the wisdom of others, not worth mentioning. Don't think that Naruto is exaggerating. The span between Hokage's high-end combat power and bottom-end combat power is too large, and they are not in the same dimension at all. At the beginning, it preached how strong and powerful Jonin is, and the opening setting of 4th generation is that 50 Jonin become famous in seconds. The entire Uchiha was also wiped out by Itachi and Obito. This is the top few big clans in the ninja world, and they will be gone in one night. And Scorpion wiped out a small country by himself. In the early stage, elite Jonin and cage level or high-end combat power. In the later stage of immortal fights, Jonin can only be regarded as a combat unit, and sometimes it is not even a combat unit. Really good eyes. Uchiha Obito looked down at a Uchiha tribe, and easily blocked the other party's attack with a wave of his hand. It was a beautiful woman wearing a purple cheongsam, with wrist guards on her hands, beautiful long black hair, and a mole under her right eye. She was holding kunai tightly while panting, and glared at Obito with her beautiful eyes. Izumi Uchiha, a gifted girl of the Uchiha clan, opened the existence of 3 Tomo Sharingan at the age of 13, and the talent of blood successor limit is rare in the Uchiha clan. Beside her lay the corpses of several Uchiha tribesmen. One of them is her mother, Uchiha Hazuki. The 3-god Jade in Uchiha Spring's eyes twirled wildly. Even if he didn't like to use the Sharingan Spring, he didn't care too much when facing the enemy who killed his only relative. It's a pity that her strength is too different from Obito's. It's useless, you can't beat me, Obito said disdainfully. The illusion that 3 Tomo Sharingan was proud of had no meaning in front of him, and the abilities of replication and insight were not worth mentioning. Obito easily knocked Uchiha Izumi down with just one finger. Uchiha with 3 Tomo Sharingan is as powerful as Jonin, which is a fact recognized by ninja circles. As long as the Sharingan is turned on, the strength can undergo a qualitative change. Basically, all Zebo people rely on the power of the Sharingan to fight. And Sharingan is also the biggest boost to the rapid growth of the Uchiha family. The more hook Jade, the stronger the strength. Except for a few people, the vast majority of Uchiha people will put all the focus of their practice on the pair of Sharingan. People's energy is limited. If you invest too much in Sharingan, you will naturally neglect exercise in other aspects. This seems to have formed an important fighting style of the Uchiha clan. No, it should be said that all blood successor boundary families are like this. If there are plugins, who will do the repetitive and boring basic training? But this combat system actually has a fatal shortcoming, that is, it relies too much on the power of the Sharingan. Once Uchiha loses the advantage of the Sharingan, his strength will become very weak. Especially in the case of Sharingan, where the level suppression is extremely severe, the low-level eyes are nothing in front of the higher-level eyes. 3 Guyu can perfectly suppress double Guyu, and double Guyu can easily suppress single Guyu. But in front of Mangekyo, whether it is a single hook, double hook or triple hook, the result is the same. If Chunin's suppression of Genin is 1, and Jonin's suppression of Chunin is 10, then Mangekyo's suppression of Sangoyu is 100. That's why there is the sentence Mangekyo is all ants. Just like now, in the face of Obito and Itachi's Mangekyo, those so-called Sangoyu Uchiha elites are basically delivering food no matter how many they come. Sum it up in 3 words, Blood Mac. The natural enemy of the Sharingan is the Sharingan. Even if these Uchiha elites are placed alone in the ninja world, they are considered to be very powerful. It can be said that success is also Sharingan and failure is also Sharingan. Uchiha Izumi, who was covered in wounds, bit his lips tightly, blood slipped down his jaw, and glared at Uchiha Obito who was like a demon god. She knew that she was no match for the intruder, but she must not back down. Behind her was the refuge of the Uchiha clan, and now there were babies who were 10 years old, a few years old, or even under 1 year old. The young children of Uchiha curled up and huddled together, watching through the cracks in the iron gate of the shelter, eyes full of panic and fear. Quan has never hated himself so much why he didn't practice hard before, so that now he doesn't even have the ability to hurt the other party. Fire style great fireball technique. The huge fireball passed through the masked man's body without any hindrance, as if the other party didn't exist, and Obito came to Uchiha Izumi in an instant like a ghost, and grabbed Izumi's delicate neck. The strong suffocation distorted Izumi's originally delicate facial features, and his expression was extremely painful. However, even so, Izumi still stared at the masked man with her three-tomo Sharingan, as if wanting to engrave the other's appearance in his mind. Itachi won't let you go. Quan struggled to squeeze out a few words from between his teeth. Itachi. Hearing the name, Obito was slightly taken aback, and the strength in his palm was also relaxed. Seizing this opportunity, Quan immediately counterattacked, pulled out the short sword from his waist and slashed at Obito. Obito's body became illusory again, the short sword passed through Obito's body without hindrance, and the attack was missed. However, this also allowed Quan to get away from Obito's attack, and he dodged aside in an instant, getting a chance to breathe. You mean, Uchiha Itachi? Obito didn't care. In his opinion, wanting to kill Quan is just a trivial matter. He said with great interest, so your hope is Uchiha Itachi? You know Itachi, Quan said with a little difficulty. Gently rubbing the place where he was pinched just now, 5 fingerprints were clearly visible. Hold on for a while, as long as you hold on for a while, new support will arrive. Single quote. How long can it be delayed for the current plan? He'll be here soon. He is a genius of our Uchiha clan, no matter how strong you are no match for him. Ha 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 ha, you said Itachi. Ha 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 ha. Obito suddenly burst out laughing, as if hearing some big joke. Weasel, weasel. Obito kept repeating Itachi's name, and then, as if he had figured something out, he turned his head to look at Izumi, with a cruel smile under his mask. Sad girl, do you know? It's Uchiha Itachi you call me who invited me here. He wants to destroy everything here, the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Itachi is the culprit of all this. You're delusional about him coming to save you. Uchiha's genius. Ha ha ha. It's really interesting. Congratulations, you made me laugh successfully. When Quan heard Obito's words, his expression was slightly dazed, and soon his eyes became firm again. Impossible, you are lying to me. Quan, who grew up with him, knows what kind of person Itachi is. Itachi is such a gentle and kind person that he would not betray his family or his companions. Quan firmly believed in this. She won't be fooled by the nonsense of this masked guy. Did you? Obito snorted coldly, looked at Uchiha Izumi's eyes and said, let me guess. You should have a good relationship with Itachi. Not only is the relationship not shallow, Uchiha Izumi is the childhood sweetheart of Uchiha Itachi. Obito seems to see through the relationship. No wonder he's going to that side. Let me solve this side, it's because of you. I want to kill you by my hand. Do you not want to kill your lover with your own hands? I really don't know whether to say it is kind or cruel. Are you right, Itachi? You talk too much, Itachi. A familiar voice sounded, and Quan was ecstatic at the moment he heard Itachi's voice, but the next second, after seeing Itachi's image clearly, Quan's eyes widened, he covered his mouth tightly and stood there in a daze, with unbelievable shock and disbelief. How? Impossible, 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 it's not true. Itachi's body exudes a strong smell of blood, and the samurai sword is covered with blood, and the place where he came is the Uchiha sanctuary that Izumi desperately wants to protect. The door of the refuge was half closed, and through the hazy moonlight, one could vaguely see the dark red blood still flowing inside. Quan only felt the blood flowing backwards all over his body was icy cold, and his trembling lips could not utter a word. It was as if a sharp knife had been pierced into his heart. At this moment she descended from heaven to hell. Solved. Okay. The conversation between Obito and Uchiha Itachi also confirmed what Izumi had suspected. A gust of wind blew, and the leaves blew past the ferret, swishing, as if countless souls were weeping, telling their grievances to Quan. There is a toddler who has just turned 1 year old. Single quote. That's all your people. Single quote. How did you do it? How did you do it? Single quote. Izumi wanted to question Uchiha Itachi loudly, but just as he opened his mouth, he suddenly retched. The bloody smell on Uchiha Itachi's body stimulated Quan's nerves, and the sharp contrast made her feel dizzy and limp, panting heavily, tears mixed with nasal discharge. The person who was regarded as hope in 1 second, became the culprit in destroying Uchiha in the next second. Itachi walked past Quan without even looking at Quan. as if they were strangers. The moment the two passed by, something broke in Kwan's heart, fragmented and never put together again. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? Facing Izumi's questioning, Itachi just paused, pointing to his pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, to test my strength, for these eyes. You can only get it when you kill those closest to you. Mangekyo Sharingan. The cold tone seemed to be talking about a trivial matter. Just because of this, you killed your clansmen, everyone, and even those children. Okay. After receiving Itachi's affirmative reply, Kwan's eyes gradually lost their luster. Papa. The applause from the masked man interrupted the conversation between the two. You showed me a good show, Itachi. The masked man suggested, kill her. If you can't bear to do it, I can do it for you. I will execute it myself. Itachi said in that unemotional voice, pulled out the samurai sword, and came to Izumi in an instant. The samurai sword sank into Izumi's chest and pierced her heart. There was no hesitation in the whole process. Blood flowed from the wound, soon staining the entire ground red. From the beginning to the end, Uchiha Izumi didn't respond, and his out-of-focus eyes looked at the ground blankly. Just when Itachi was about to close Izumi's eyes with his hands, a serious and shocked voice sounded. Itachi. Fugaku arrived late with the only remaining Uchiha elites. After seeing Itachi, the masked man and the corpses of a Uchiha tribe, he said with a solemn expression. Collude with outsiders, you betrayed Uchiha. Don't say that, anyway, I used to be a Uchiha clan. After the continuation of the love scene, is it family this time? Then what's the next time? Obito said wickedly. Let me see how much pleasure tonight can bring me. Fugaku charged Itachi and Obito with the last remaining Uchiha elite. No one noticed that the already dead Kwan's fingertips trembled slightly, and the bright red blood all over his body was fading little by little. Fire-style Howlong fire technique. A huge fire dragon spewed out of Fugaku's mouth and galloped towards Itachi and Obito. Fire-style Great Fireball technique. Fire-style Garuda. Several Uchiha elites around Fugaku were not to be outdone, and resorted to their special skills one after another. Huge flames swept in, and the temperature was so high that even tens of meters apart could feel the heat wave. It's useless. Obito was not attacked by the fire-style ninjutsu at all, and took the life of a Uchiha elite very easily with a single grab. But also because of Obito's attack, Itachi and Fugaku confront each other. Itachi. Fugaku looked at Uchiha Itachi coldly, his eyes were so strange, as if meeting Itachi for the first time. I'm sorry, father, for disappointing you. Fugaku. It seems you chose Konaha between the family and Konaha. It's not that Fugaku doesn't know Itachi has his own ideas, but the matter of relocation is of great importance, and a little carelessness will lead to disaster for the whole family. Itachi himself works in Anbu, and he was worried that he would accidentally leak it, so that he hadn't had time to communicate with Itachi. He wanted to send the first group of people away to ensure the continuation of Uchiha's blood and then inform Itachi. I didn't expect Itachi to be so extreme. He colluded with the masked man and Konaha early in the morning to target Uchiha, and even killed the tribe. Now it seems that fortunately, I didn't say it in advance. Sasuke, how are you going to arrange it? Sasuke will be safe in Konaha. Fugaku showed a mocking expression for the first time. It seems that you have already discussed with Konaha. Konaha. At the beginning of Konaha, it was jointly established by the Uchiha and Senju clan. There have been 3 ninja wars before and after. Place, the toughest task. Countless clansmen died for Konaha. My Uchiha clan made great contributions to Konaha. But what have we got? Suspicion again and again, exclusion again and again, suppression again and again. Even drove us Uchiha clan out of Konaha village to this frontier land. Is this the fairness you Konaha said? The only result of repeated forbearance is constant persecution. We Uchiha take Konaha as the family, but do you Konaha take us Uchiha as family? Dog. For peace. Itachi said as a matter of course, the rebellion will only lead to war. Many people will die because of it, and many families will be destroyed. I had to. For peace and peace ha ha ha. Fugaku laughed angrily, the laughter was so bitter and unwilling, he pointed to Itachi and asked loudly, so in your eyes, Konaha's people are human beings, we isn't it Uchiha? Konaha's life is life, but Uchiha's life is not life. There will be a lot of sacrifices in Konaha, and a lot of families will be broken because of it, so isn't Uchiha. Your hands are covered with the blood of countless clansmen, Itachi. Yes, but I have no regrets. It's really stubborn. Seeing that his child was completely obsessed, Fugaku took a deep breath, looked at Itachi with very complicated eyes, and his serious and deep voice resounded through the entire Uchiha clan land. I, Uchiha Fugaku, as the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, hereby declare that, from today, the identity of the Uchiha Itachi Uchiha clan will be deprived. From now on, no longer the Uchiha clan. It doesn't matter what identity you use in the future, don't call yourself Uchiha anymore. Otherwise I'll find you at Cape Tianya and kill you. After Fugaku finished speaking, he looked at Itachi as if he was looking at a stranger. The Scarlet Guyu emerged. Ha ha ha, I can't protect myself, and even made such a big joke about expelling Itachi from the Uchiha clan. The masked men all said sarcastically. There were not many Uchiha elites left at this moment, and they were lying on the ground in disarray. After tonight, there will be no Uchiha clan in the entire ninja world. Father Fugaku-sama. Itachi just wanted to address his father, but changed his sentence under Fugaku's eyes. In front of these eyes, you have no chance of winning. Mangekyo Sharingan emerges. Is this your confidence, Itachi? Fugaku was startled when he saw the pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. The legendary Mangekyo Sharingan, the eye that Uchiha Madara, the ancestor of the Uchiha clan, once had. I'm afraid this masked man also has the same eyes. Fugaku glanced calmly at the masked man on the other side who was slaughtering his tribe. It seems that I have to explain here. Single quote. But even so, the reputation of the Uchiha clan cannot be compromised. Single quote. Uchiha never backs down. Single quote. At this moment, a sudden change occurred. 1 hit 7. There was a shrill scream, and Uchiha Izumi, who should have died long ago, stood up at some point, and the wound that pierced her heart disappeared as if going back in time, and one of her eyes was pale. Izanagi can physically restore the caster's physical state, at the cost of permanent blindness in the eye used, the forbidden technique of the Uchiha clan. Staring at Itachi with eyes full of hatred, in Quan's only one eye, 3 Guyu spun wildly like desperately. Faster and faster, faster and faster until they become one piece. Finally, a clover-shaped pattern appeared in Quan's only remaining eye. A brand new Mangekyo Sharingan is born. Itachi, I swear to kill you. With a whoosh, Izumi Uchiha shot out like a spring, so fast that even Fugaku who activated 3 Tomo Sharingan could only see an afterimage. The kunai in Quan's hand stabbed fiercely in Itachi's abdomen, and blood spurted out like a spring. Where is it? Quan, who succeeded in one blow, not only did not relax because of killing Itachi, but looked around vigilantly. The weasel that had been penetrated by kunai suddenly exploded and turned into crows flying away. Crow Avatar. HMPH, so what if you turn on the Mangekyo, but there's only one? Obito glanced at Izumi who had turned on the Mangekyo Sharingan and said disdainfully, the greed in his eyes flashed, here are 2 pairs of Mangekyo. Uchiha genocide tonight. Obito said that he gave up his opponent, and turned to besiege Izumi with Itachi. It happened that one of my Mangekyo was missing. Your opponent is me. The sudden change occurred again. A cold voice sounded. Obito only felt the wind blowing in the back of his head. A blast of blazing heat mixed with an aura of destruction came whistling at a very fast speed. Obito burst out with the 6th sense and opened the hollow. Instantly a powerful fist passed through Obito's head. The wind of the fist passed by, tearing the air, and there was a whistling sound, which was terrifying. Boom. The ground where Obito is located is sunken, with cobweb-like cracks constantly filling, soil mixed with gravel splashing out, and a huge pit several meters wide appears in front of everyone. This level of strange power fist. If I get hit, even I will be seriously injured. Obito swallowed secretly, fortunately he reacted quickly. I won't remind you next time. Naruto, who was also wearing a spiral mask, appeared in front of everyone, pointing his fingers at the position of Obito's head and making a gesture of shooting. People from Konaha. Obito didn't care about Naruto's threat at all, he said and answered by himself, probably not. If it was Konaha's people, they would not save Uchiha but kill Uchiha with themselves. His hollow ability is the nemesis of all taijutsu ninjas. Just be careful and don't worry about Naruto hurting yourself. No matter how high your attack power is, it's useless if you can't hit it. Itachi kills her quickly and takes her eyes away. Not afraid of returning home, Obito was also worried that something would happen if he stayed any longer, so he ordered Itachi. There are enough surprises today. Just when Obito was about to join forces with Itachi, Naruto appeared again and stopped him. Your opponent is me, Obito snorted coldly, overthinking one's abilities. Since you are looking for death, said Obito's body became unreal again, like a bubble. And behind Naruto, another Obito gradually appeared, with a few wooden thorns looming in the palm. Wood-style cutting technique. Die. Single quote. Just when Obito's palm was about to touch the back of Naruto's head, Naruto seemed to have eyes on the back of his head, and easily avoided Obito's attack with a slight side, and at the same time, he quickly punched with his left hand, hitting Obito's abdomen hard. As if Obito had been hit hard, a mouthful of blood sprayed directly into the mask. This punch almost made him meet Uchiha Madara of Pure Land. Naruto does not know space-time ninjutsu. Theoretically, it is impossible to hurt the masked man Obito with physical jutsu alone. As long as Obito keeps the hollow state, Naruto can do nothing to him. It's a pity that this kind of hollow has a shortcoming, that is, it needs to turn the virtual into reality at the moment of attack. As long as it turns into a physical attack, it will generate friction with the air, and friction will generate gas flow. Naruto can sense this flow. This ability is a kind of energy perception. In the 23rd Budokai, Kakarot could easily perceive Tenzin-fan's movements with his back facing him. So Naruto only needs to attack the moment Obito turns into a physical attack. Others may not be able to react to this moment of turning virtual into reality, but Naruto can. Naruto also used this information to almost catch Obito by surprise. After Obito suffered a big loss, Hollow immediately hid aside. Seeing this, Naruto stopped chasing after a successful strike. For a moment, the two of you look at me, and I look at you. Very tacitly did not choose to continue to do it. The current situation is that Obito can't do anything to Naruto, but as long as Obito doesn't attack, Naruto can't do anything to Obito for the time being. The hollow skill is really disgusting. It is very difficult to hurt Obito without knowing space-time ninjutsu. Obito didn't understand why Naruto was able to hit him, and thought it was some kind of secret technique. He couldn't find out what Naruto was and didn't dare to act rashly, so the two were deadlocked. But if Naruto is going to support Izumi, he will also intervene. Fugaku without the Mangekyo Sharingan is not even eligible to join the war, and can only help the Uchiha people who are defeated but not yet dead. Long waiting everyone. A voice sounded with the arrival of a figure, and the fourth generation, who rearranged the Flying Thunder God's enchantment, returned. Continuing from the manga here, Fugaku has no Mangekyo. Otherwise, with the lineup of Uchiha Shisui, Itachi, and Fugaku, not to mention Konaha, Obito would not dare to mess with it. It's really a bad hand with a good hand. Another one. Endless. Looking at the fourth generation, Obito said impatiently, it's like a group of cockroaches. The winning ticket is already in hand. As long as Fugaku and those Uchiha elites are killed, the Uchiha clan will be officially wiped out tonight. Obito naturally doesn't know that some Uchiha have been transferred, and in his eyes there are only these Uchiha in front of him. Such a simple matter happened to happen repeatedly. First, Izumi accidentally activated the Mangekyo Sharingan. Fortunately, there is only one Mangekyo, and the ability does not seem to be very good. In addition, Izumi's overall quality is poor and there are too many Itachis. Later, the arrival of Naruto was an accident in an accident. Not to mention his terrifying power, he almost knocked himself to his knees with a punch, but the limitations of taijutsu ninjas can be put aside. Now there is another fourth generation. If we continue to stay, we don't know how many accidents there will be. In fact, Obito already had the idea of quitting. But I really can't bear to part with the Mangekyo Sharingan in the spring's eye. That is the Mangekyo Sharingan, not the three-pointed jade used as consumables, but the top and best eyes of the Uchiha clan. Throughout the history of Uchiha, there are very few existences. Even Obito, who collects a wall of Sharingan, has no extra Mangekyo except his own one. If this will go, isn't Konoha cheap Danzo for nothing? From Obito's point of view, the root ninja must have been ambushing all around early in the morning. Kill you. On the other side, Izumi frantically used the power of Mangekyo recklessly, attacking Itachi desperately, completely ignoring the blood and tears constantly flowing from her only remaining one eye. Even if she is blind today, she will avenge the dead Uchiha children. How much I loved at the beginning, how much I hate now. It's a pity that even after awakening Mangekyo Sharingan, Izumi is still not Itachi's opponent. Under Quan's frantic attack, Itachi behaved extremely calmly, even with ease. When Uchiha has the same level of Sharingan, what he is fighting for is the ability and personal qualities of the 10,000 Blossoms technique. It's a pity that Itachi is far above Uchiha Izumi in terms of physical skills, genjutsu, and ninjutsu, and unlike Izumi who only has one eye left, he has two complete Mangekyo. Although Itachi hasn't figured out what Izumi Mangekyo's pupil technique is until now, it is also true that Izumi couldn't hurt Itachi. Izumi's ability to persist until now is entirely the result of using Mangekyo's power recklessly. As long as Izumi's power is exhausted, Itachi can kill it without any effort. It's ready. Naruto appeared behind Izumi in an instant. Izumi, who was fully focused on Itachi, didn't notice Naruto's arrival at all, and when she realized it, Naruto's hand was already pressing on her delicate neck. With a light touch, Quan lost consciousness. He picked up Izumi's body and threw it towards Fugaku's position. Master Patriarch, Konaha has already noticed the abnormality here. Presumably the Anbu ninjas are already on their way. Naruto glanced at Uchiha Itachi vigilantly, lowered his voice and said, "Take her with you, it's time to retreat." Fugaku nodded to Naruto, hugged Izumi, winked at the few remaining Uchiha elites and ran back decisively. As for Sasuke, it seems that he can't take care of it. Want to go? Obito, who was vacillating between retreating and not retreating, stepped forward to stop Naruto and others after discovering the intention of Naruto and others. But as soon as he moved, the figure of the fourth generation appeared in front of him instantly. "Now your opponent is me." The fourth generation gave Obito a strange feeling, familiar yet unfamiliar, unfamiliar yet somewhat familiar, but now he had no time to think about it. Obito recognized the fourth generation's agility. Time and space ninjutsu. Single quote. Seeing the sudden appearance of fourth generation Obito, he was shocked. What he relied on was the power of Kamui, a powerful space-time ninjutsu. If the other party also knows time-space ninjutsu, it would be very bad for him. During the Night of Nine Tails, he suffered a big loss from the fourth generation, who knew the space-time ninjutsu. If it weren't for the tight schedule of the fourth generation at that time, it would be normal for Obito to be hammered to death by the fourth generation. However, the next scene made Obito even more surprised. A blue sphere that was very familiar to him appeared in the palm of the hooded man in front of him. Rasengan. At this moment, he recalled the memory of being hammered into the soil by the fourth generation's one-shot kill 9 years ago. The psychological shadow made Obito directly turn on the hollow mode and retreat far away. But this is exactly what the fourth generation wants, and the fourth generation has no intention of entangled with Obito at all. After a phantom shot, the Flying Thunder God technique was immediately activated and disappeared instantly, and it reappeared next to Fugaku and the others. Tricked. This man is the key to their departure. After reacting, Obito was startled and angry, but with his current distance, he definitely couldn't stop the fourth generation and others. Itachi, stop them. Obito can only hope in Itachi, but Itachi is facing Naruto now. Naruto, who made Obito suffer a lot with one move. The Mangekyo in Itachi's eyes began to spin crazily. The best way to deal with physical ninjas is illusion. Itachi is also the best ninja of the Uchiha clan who is good at illusion. But Naruto already has a solution. I saw Naruto put his hands on his forehead with 5 fingers spread out, and shouted in a low voice, "Sun Fist." Taiyanquan used to be the unique skill of Tianjin Fan. In the 23rd World's No. 1 martial arts conference, Kakarot used it to counter Tianjin Fanyi. A move that converts the energy within the body into light energy, producing intense light that temporarily blinds the enemy. The intense strong light suddenly rises from Naruto as the origin, instantly illuminating the entire Konoha. The eyes of the ninjas who secretly followed the Uchiha garrison were temporarily blinded. Everyone has an illusion. Is it dawn? Itachi, who was facing Naruto, was stimulated by the sudden white light and closed his eyes. No matter how powerful Sharingan is, he is still eyes. Eyes are delicate organs, and the effect of Sun Fist is the strongest in the Dark Night. Trash. Obito forced his eyes to open a slit, and watched fourth generation disappear with Fugaku and others. He couldn't help cursing inwardly, not knowing whether he was scolding himself or Itachi again. If it is the real body of the fourth generation, Naruto really thought about letting the fourth generation keep Obito. The problem is that this is just a shadow clone. No matter how good Obito is, he can't even beat a shadow clone. It is already profitable to lead people away with a feint. But the fourth generation escaped with Fugaku, and Naruto didn't intend to leave so early. Since he practiced to the present, he has not yet had an accurate judgment on his own strength. He only knows that he is very strong, so strong that he can hammer Nine Tails to the ground with pure physical strength. As for how strong his real strength is in the ninja world, this needs to be further confirmed. Now is the time to judge your own strength. He chose a great opponent for himself, the masked man Uchiha Obito. As for Uchiha Itachi, the Tsukuyomi space is indeed very strong, and Naruto didn't know if he could resist the 72-hour torture. But with the Taiyang fist in his hand, he was really not afraid of Itachi before Itachi found a countermeasure. As long as Sharingan needs to open his eyes, he must be restrained by Sun Fist. Before the effect of Sun Fist disappeared, Naruto exerted force on his feet, and instantly came to Obito, and punched the masked man straight. Is it over? Obito immediately opened hollow. You really think I can't kill you? Obito, who was repeatedly provoked by Naruto, was really angry. Now Obito can see clearly Naruto's ways. It's not a secret technique, and it doesn't know space-time ninjutsu. But a taijutsu ninja. It must have been a coincidence that he was attacked before. Obito doesn't know chi, so he naturally doesn't understand that as long as he attacks, he will be predicted by Naruto in advance. After watching for a long time, there was no trace of the use of secret techniques. It was just a coincidence that Obito attributed the beating by Naruto to the intuition of a taijutsu ninja. Just be careful with yourself. It is not a problem to win the opponent. Wood clone plus hollow plus Kamui plus sneak attack. Obito once again tricked Naruto with the illusory bubble, and went around behind him himself. The same move, the same method, the same plot. At the moment of his attack, Naruto received another heavy punch in the chest, and Obito, who was gushing blood under the mask, flew out like a rag doll, presenting a perfect parabola in the sky. No, impossible, impossible. I, who inherited everything from Uchiha Madara, am invincible. Single quote. It's not over yet. Naruto seized the right moment to force his feet and reappeared directly in front of Obito in an instant, accumulating power with his right fist and outputting a meal at Obito. Normal continuous punch. Fist to the flesh. Obito, who a moment ago regarded Uchiha's elite as worthless, is now beaten by Naruto. Obito felt that all the bones in his body were shattered cleanly. He suppressed the pain and turned on the hollow, allowing Naruto's next fist to hit empty, thus avoiding the subsequent damage. Even so, the three-tomo Sharingan to the left of Obito in the mask turned gray. TCH, you're not dead like this. Seeing Obito trembling up from the ground again, Naruto muttered in dissatisfaction. Naruto was operated in such a smooth way, but with the purpose of blasting Obito to scum, he used at least 90% of his strength. If those rude ninjas were punched, there would be no meat left. Naruto would like to see. Let's see if the so-called ultimate illusion can be recovered after beating the opponent into a puddle of meat. In the end, he was just beaten to death, but not completely dead, just lost a life. Tisk, the body is really strong enough. Single quote. Obito's body is really tough, at least in the same level. He was beaten up in the later stages of the story, and he survived until the final battle. He was hit by Yoruichi Wei and killed the ashes, and his body collapsed. Although one life was lost now, as long as you don't kill Obito once, you can't completely kill him. Anyway, Sengoku has a lot of collections. If I knew it earlier, I should have given a Qigong bomb. Single quote. Even if Obito only has the IQ of Shanji, he should realize that Naruto can predict his own attack. The two fights with Obito also gave Naruto a general understanding of his strength in the ninja world. Strong is really strong, but not invincible. 90% of the strength did not drop Uchiha Obito in seconds, and his own practice still needs to be strengthened. As for why not use 100%, Obito is not alone with an Itachi hanging up next to him. 90% of the strength can't kill him, and 10% of the difference is not big. Furthermore, Naruto's strongest strength is chi, and chi is the foundation of Naruto's strength. His body is just a byproduct of training. The most important point is that he is only 9 years old now, and his body will develop again in a few years. It can only be said the power ceiling in the world of Dragon Ball is too high. Moves such as the power of 9 tails, the righteous shadow clone group fight, and Kamehei-Chigang are also useless. Of course, Obito also has reservations, and he didn't use any powerful wood-style ninjutsu, Susan Gundam, and kept a few whole cards. If he didn't know the space of Obito's Kamui clearly, and Obito has the confidence in his Kamui to wander around, he wouldn't be beaten twice by Naruto. Even if he suppressed Obito, the mid to late stage boss once or twice, Naruto did not swell. He is very clear about his strength positioning. Still very weak, very weak, very weak. It's not strong enough yet, you have to get stronger, and get stronger again. As for how strong it is, at the very least, you have to punch the explosive tailed beast. A new combat unit appeared, Tailed Beast. Out of the corner of his eye, he glanced at the Itachi who had regained his vision and was standing there paddling wildly. Although Itachi's brain is abnormal, his combat talent is really high, and he has his own set of rules for judging the situation. The most important point is that this guy and Obito are not of the same mind. Itachi is using himself to judge Obito's strength. Conscience is very bad, Naruto said in a low voice through the mask. I won't play with you, see you next time. Do you think you can go now? Obito's one-eyed eyes were full of malice. Naruto didn't pay attention to him at all, his body got rid of gravity and slowly floated up. Dancing Kongshu can fly. Looking at Naruto slowly rising into the sky, Obito's eyes flashed a glint of gloom. Third Tsuchikage's ultralight heavy rock technique. Single quote. People from Iwagakure. Single quote. Numerous speculations about Naruto's identity flashed through Obito's mind. Although Obito has space-time ninjutsu, he has inherited all ninjutsu and secret techniques from Uchiha Madara. Even Orochimaru, the number. I dare not say that I have mastered more than Obito. However, Obito is one thing worse than Naruto. He can't fly. Senju Hashirama cells, Mangekyo Sharingan, and space-time ninjutsu did not give Obito the ability to fly. Ninjas who can fly are not ordinary ninjas, and their maneuverability is not the same as ordinary ninjas, only under space-time ninjutsu. It will definitely be a big trouble in the future. Single quote. Obito tagged Naruto in his mind. Looking at Naruto, who is rising rapidly, he really wants to kill Naruto but is worried about being cheated. The 2 consecutive defeats made him very scruples about Naruto, and if he loses another life, he will really die. Itachi was paddling again and had no intention of fighting Naruto. In the end, Obito could only watch Naruto leave unwillingly. Seeing that Obito wasn't fooled, Naruto no longer tried to hide it, speeding up his air dance, and flew into the air with a whoosh. This is really a fraud. At this moment, Obito didn't even mention how much he hated Naruto. Since Naruto appeared, he had already eaten turtles countless times. HMPH. Naruto, who flew high in the sky, looked down at Obito below and snorted coldly, before Obito could react, disappeared into the silent night sky with a whoosh. The cold snort when he left was like saying to Obito, "Didn't you say I can't leave?" The face hurts. Single quote. Although Naruto's face could not be seen through the mask, the disdainful tone made Obito's teeth itch. Itachi will leave it to you. Continuing, Naruto left. Obito felt ashamed and continued to stay, and after explaining to Itachi, Hollow left in a hurry. It doesn't matter if Obito has been wiped out a lot by Naruto. He had more important things to do, the dead bodies of the Uchiha people here. There are many eyes. Watching Obito leave, Itachi in Anbu makeup stood on the street lamp, looking at the sky silently. Fugaku's words just now echoed in his mind, deeply engraved in Itachi's heart. Konaha's life is life, but Uchiha's life is not life. Single quote. Thinking of the moment when he stabbed those young children with his samurai sword, Itachi hated himself for no reason. His hands were stained with the blood of his tribe, and this crime could never be washed away. Are you wrong? No, I am not wrong. I stopped the war by myself, and I avoided the death of many people by myself. Wrong as Uchiha. Sasuke is coming soon. An island built on the sea, the ruins of Uzumaki country. Fugaku. The figures of Fugaku and others appeared in Uzumaki country, and Makoto, who was waiting anxiously there, immediately rushed up and hugged her husband tightly. Fugaku patted Makoto's shoulder lightly, indicating that he is fine and don't worry. Thank you, fourth generation. Fugaku first thanked fourth generation for sending them back. However, because the distance from Naruto is too far, the current fourth generation is in a downtime state, and there is not much response to Fugaku's thanks. Where's Itachi? Where's Sasuke? Makoto, whose mood gradually stabilized, looked around for his two children. Unfortunately, there were no two people among the people who came together. Makoto had a bad premonition in his heart. Are they? Sasuke is fine, Itachi is fine, Fugaku said and patted Makoto on the shoulder. As Fugaku's wife for many years, Makoto naturally understood the significance of this move. Husband is in trouble. Then Fugaku bowed deeply to all the Uchiha present. Everyone, I'm sorry. All the Uchiha present were taken aback by Fugaku's actions, and they looked at each other for no reason. Taking a deep breath of the slightly salty sea breeze, Fugaku began to slowly tell the Uchihas what happened tonight. Fugaku spoke slowly and in detail, adding some thoughts of his own from time to time. When they heard that all the Uchihas of the family had sacrificed, all men, women, and children all turned red in their eyes. Uchiha, the family that has been passed down for thousands of years, is gone. There are more than 1,000 tribesmen, and only their current number of more than 100 is left. Friends, relatives, they were eating and drinking together the day before, and they are gone in this second. Few people can accept this fact. Thinking of this, a few of the more than 100 Uchiha people present directly opened the 3-goat jade, and more than 10 people opened the double-goat jade. To Fugaku's regret, there wasn't a pair of Mangekyo in it. Think about it too. The Uchiha clan has experienced 3 ninja world wars, and the number of clansmen who died in battle is countless, but there are only a few Mangekyo in the history of the Uchiha clan. If it was so easy to activate Mangekyo, Uchiha would have become the strongest ninja world. Mangekyo Sharingan is something that cannot be met. A few pairs of 3-go jade and double-go jade are not bad. It's better than the whole family being killed to open the single-go jade. Itachi is my child. He has become like this now. It is because I, the father, did not teach him well. It is precisely because of this that it leads to today's tragedy. As of today, I resign as the head of the Uchiha clan. Fugaku's language was not surprising, and he spoke with an unprecedented solemn tone. Someone has to be responsible for what happened tonight, someone has to take the responsibility, and as the patriarch Fugaku is to blame, especially since one of the culprits is his son. Facing Fugaku's resignation, all the Uchiha present were stunned, looking at each other, not knowing what to say. Granted, Itachi is Fugaku's child, and Uchiha is to blame for what happened to him. But if it wasn't for him, I'm afraid Uchiha wouldn't even have this few people left, and the family would really be wiped out. Uchiha of Uchiha learned about Itachi's power, Obito's power, and Mangekyo's power from the surviving Uchiha elite. No matter how powerful Sangoyu was in the family before, he couldn't go a few rounds in front of those two. Only in the face of absolute strength can one discover one's own weakness. It turned out that Sangoyu was not invincible. It turns out that there are more powerful eyes on the 3-hook jade. Mangekyo, the legendary Mangekyo. The evaluation of Mangekyo Sharingan in the official formula book is even more, the strongest eye of the sky that sees through the 3 realms, and the earth-shattering pupil technique. Everything before was just sitting in a well and watching the sky. The coup was simply an impossible victory, doomed from the start. Leaving is the right choice. Not all Uchihas are high-sighted and domineering. More Uchihas are just a group of arrogant people who are not good at words. They don't know what to say and what to say in this situation. The most important point is that the Uchihas present are all Fugaku's confidants and loyalists, otherwise they would not have followed Fugaku to this vortex country. Serious uncle, you shouldn't be blamed for this. Naruto's voice sounded in the sky, and Naruto fell from the sky, and with a bang, he smashed a deep pit on the ground like a meteorite falling. Naruto stood in the deep pit with his hands folded in the center. The aura is full like a god, just listen to him slowly say. It's not your fault, but Konaha. If there is no Konaha's continuous oppression, if there is no Konaha's repeated persecution, if there is no Konaha's unreasonable exclusion. How did Uchiha end up here? Throughout the 3 ninja world wars, Uchiha came out in full force every time, and the number of Uchiha casualties was the highest every time. Uchiha has made great contributions to Konoha and made an undeniable contribution to the establishment of Konoha, but what have you got? Honor, power, or the status of a leader? There is nothing you get, only betrayal. It was Konoha who pushed Uchiha to the edge of the village step by step. It was Konoha who induced your people Itachi to fight you. It was Konoha who set up a game against Uchiha. You are just implicated innocently. Bye. You are not wrong, Uchiha is not wrong, and Fugaku Patriarch is not wrong for you. The culprit of everything is Konoha. Naruto's voice is like the whisper of hell devils, guiding the Uchihas. Although what he said was the truth. And Naruto's words also made many Uchiha react, and said to Fugaku one after another. Yes, Chief Fugaku, if it weren't for you, maybe all of us would be here today. Chief Fugaku, you can't. It is impossible to say that the Uchiha who were present did not blame Fugaku. Anyone who has their relatives and friends disappeared overnight will not mind. But they are more confused about future life, confused about the future. The only thing they can rely on is Fugaku. At least when the other clansmen are thinking about a coup d'état and making troubles, Fugaku rationally chooses to preserve Uchiha's blood. Facts have proved that Fugaku's choice is right. But I don't have the ability to be a patriarch anymore. Fugaku shook his head dejectedly. After seeing how powerful Mangekyo was, that power turned into a boulder that weighed on Fugaku's chest, making him breathless. In the face of such power, no matter how many 3 gold jades come, it is useless. It is too strong. Looking at Izumi in a coma, Fugaku seemed to have made up his mind. She is our hope for Uchiha. Only Mangekyo can deal with Mangekyo. If Uchiha before the genocide was extremely irrational, and there were many parties who were not united and each had their own abacus and small things, then the surviving Uchiha in the Vortex Kingdom is unprecedentedly united. The reality gave them a cruel slap, woke them up completely, and let them understand the gap between themselves and the real ninja powerhouse. In fact, weakness is not the biggest original sin, but arrogance is. Powerful enemies are not to be feared, but pig-like teammates are to be feared. The purpose of the surviving Uchihas is also surprisingly the same, and the blood feud can only be paid with blood. Fugaku turned his head to look in Konoha's direction. We will go back, when we return again, it will be the time when Konoha will be destroyed. And Naruto turned his head to look at another place thoughtfully at this time. That direction is the ancestral hall of the Uzumaki clan in the country of Vortex. There lies the greatest secret of the Uzumaki clan. But now is not the time. Naruto-kun, Sasuke him. Serious uncle, leave Sasuke to me. The next day, a shocking news came out. That invincible Uchiha clan with eyes higher than the top. Genocide. Just last night, more than 900 ninjas of the whole family were killed, and the whereabouts of more than 100 people are unknown. Only a 9-year-old toddler, Uchiha Sasuke, was left. The murderer is Uchiha Sasuke's big brother, Uchiha Itachi, the young head of the Uchiha clan. Konoha immediately issued a reward notice, Konoha S-Class Rebellious Ninja Uchiha Itachi. The only survivor, Uchiha Sasuke, was lying blankly in the ward of Konoha Hospital, staring blankly at the ceiling. The villagers glanced at the ward where Uchiha Sasuke was located from time to time, talking in low voices. Even if I just passed by Konoha Hospital, I couldn't help but take a few more glances. Watch the excitement and chat about right and wrong. No matter which world it is in, it is the favorite of the people who eat melons. Uchiha genocide, this is Konoha's biggest melon in recent years. It's really pitiful. The whole family was killed. I heard that the murderer is still his big brother. It's too tragic. My big brother killed his parents, killed his clansmen and left him alone. Compassionate. If it were me, I'm afraid I won't be able to persist, and I don't know how to live in the future. There are those who substitute themselves. Uchiha, that's what they deserve. There is schadenfreude. I just said why I saw a burst of white light last night, which almost blinded my eyes. There was also discussion of Naruto Taiyo Fist last night. Don't tell them, I will secretly tell you a confidential message. Some people even began to spread some far-fetched rumors. In short, what Yuki Snake Shendu has sprung up, but the center of discussion is always around Sasuke around Uchiha. There are also some people who are already dissatisfied with Uchiha. They said Uchiha unscrupulously, venting their inner dissatisfaction. The content is very unbearable, but it often attracts many echoes. Who made Uchiha's reputation bad in Konaha? No one will give Uchiha a heads up at all. If you want to call Uchiha, then we are half brothers and sisters. Just like they criticized Naruto back then. Oh no, at least there are people who sympathize with Sasuke, at least better than Naruto. For 3 full days, he stayed inside without eating, drinking or talking, just staring at the ceiling. The little nurse at Konaha Hospital reported to the head nurse about Uchiha Sasuke's condition these days. Maybe they are the only ones in Konaha who really care about Sasuke. Looking at Sasuke's ward, the head nurse sighed softly, I hope he can survive. For a 9-year-old, it's such a shock. In the ward, Sasuke stared blankly at the ceiling, thinking about everything that happened that day. The bodies of his father and mother were lying in a pool of blood, and the samurai sword in Itachi's hand was covered with blood. He rushed forward desperately, but was easily knocked down by Itachi's punch. I asked Itachi loudly why he did this, but all he got was, for the tester. For such a boring reason. Father, mother, Grandma Hanako, who lives on the left side of her mansion and loves him the most, always secretly gives him sweets. Kazuhiro aunt who likes to grow flowers at the end of the road. Uncle Liangping, who is usually screaming and arguing in the blacksmith shop, wants to tailor a suit of ninja equipment for him in the future. The naughty and lovely Kyoko sister. There is also a baby who was born in Uncle Koji's family 2 days ago and whose eyes have not yet opened. At that time, I was still arguing to give him a name. These lovely people. Now everything has changed. Nothing is gone. It only took one night to go from a happy family to being alone. If Naruto started from nothing to nothing, then Sasuke had everything from the beginning to nothing at the end. I can bear the darkness if I never see the light. It is the true portrayal of Sasuke today. Not to mention that Sasuke is just a 9-year-old child, this kind of shock is something that few adults can accept. Hello, Uchiha Sasuke. A voice sounded, causing waves in Sasuke's heart, which was gloomy in front of him. Sasuke looked in the direction of the voice with blank eyes, and what caught his eyes was a touch of golden hair. How long are you going to stay in bed? Naruto did not know when he came to Sasuke's ward, sitting on the windowsill and leaning against the windowsill, holding his chin with one hand. Do you want to continue to be decadent like this? Naruto's words made Sasuke react a little. Do you think Uncle Fugaku and Makoto aunt will be happy seeing you like this? Or do you mean you don't care about their feelings at all? You like this or better off being killed by Itachi? At the mention of Itachi, Sasuke finally reacted, his eyes turned into anger and stared at Naruto. A nameless anger rose in Sasuke's heart for no reason. I don't know if it's for Naruto, or for myself, or for Itachi. Naruto ignored Sasuke's anger and continued to provoke Sasuke. Oh, you don't even have the qualifications to be killed by him. Naruto's words exploded instantly like clear water dripping into a frying pan. What do you know? Sasuke yelled at Naruto. His voice was a little hoarse after a long silence. What do you know? You guys have no idea what I've been through. Of course I know. Naruto interrupted Sasuke lightly, and said in a tone of describing other people's affairs, my parents died in front of me when I was born. I saw it with my own eyes. Sasuke froze in place, unable to say a word. My parents died before me when I was born. Single quote. I have seen it with my own eyes. Single quote. What kind of experience did this little ghost who is similar to himself go through to be able to say it in such a flat tone? I have never felt the love of my parents since I was born. The word parents is also the most unfamiliar to me. I really envy you that you can live with your father for a while. Naruto's tone remained unchanged, but the eyes of the fourth generation in Naruto's stomach darkened a lot after hearing the words. He is an irresponsible father. You should know mine, right? Naruto put his arms around his chest, changed a comfortable position and continued to lean against the windowsill. You must have heard something about me more or less. Adults are afraid to avoid me, children never play games with me, and none of the shops in the village are willing to sell to me. I've lived by myself since I was a child, self-sufficient. So what? I'm still alive and well. All the hardships I have experienced are stepping stones to hone myself. What doesn't kill me, only makes me stronger. I'm sorry. Sasuke blushed and whispered. Hehe, Zuzi apologizes, and Scorpion shits only one. Sasuke is not stupid. Naruto exposes his scars like this, isn't it just to comfort himself? It's just that Sasuke also has a little doubt in his heart. He and Naruto are not related, and even fought in the ninja school. Why should he help himself? Naruto just shook his head faintly, as if he could see through what Sasuke was thinking, and said with an extremely cryptic pun, because we are brothers. Indra and Ashura are indeed brothers, and in the original setting, Sasuke and Naruto are indeed half-brothers, but now because of my arrival, I don't know whether it is still considered. At least until now, I don't feel any Ashura's chakra, let alone be affected by this chakra. Maybe you don't know, your father and my father are friends who can trust each other and partners who fight side by side, and our mother is a very good best friend. Hearing this, Sasuke was stunned. That's why Naruto came to my house that day, and that's why mom and dad are so kind to Naruto. Single quote. Naruto nodded. That's right. Sasuke. How can he know what I'm thinking? Mind reading. Single quote. I don't know that kind of thing. Sasuke. Nonsense. Single quote. I really don't know that kind of thing. Sasuke. You still have a lot of things to do in this life. Instead of complaining about yourself here, you should cheer up early. Naruto made the final summary. He didn't want Sasuke to continue to be decadent. Sasuke is the one he most wants to pull himself into side help. In the later stage, Sasuke's strength and achievements are only inferior to his own. As long as Sasuke and Naruto are on the same side, Otsutsuki will beat you to pieces. You should have more important things to do, right? You don't want to continue to feel sorry for yourself here, do you? I want to become stronger. Sasuke clenched his fists. I want revenge on that person, I want power. You will help me, Naruto. After speaking, Sasuke stared at Naruto with some apprehensive eyes, for fear that the other party would disagree. Naruto's performance in the ninja school left a very deep impression on Sasuke. One counts as one, regardless of gender, all are beaten and cried. Naruto nodded, and said in an affirmative tone, if you want. Then stop lying here and get up. Okay. A day later. Leaf Forest. Watermelon-headed Lilac, Big Uncle Hyuga Neji, and Naruto's physical training team gathered together, but this time there was a cold-faced little Tsunere Uchiha Sasuke. Do you really want to carry this thing on your back? Sasuke looked at the turtle shells on Neji, Xiaoli and Naruto with a look of disgust. There is no other reason. This thing is really ugly. It would be embarrassing to be seen by others. Neji, who was doing basic training with a turtle shell on his back, glanced at Sasuke disdainfully, and thought he was a delicate and expensive young master. He said he wanted to be an Avenger, but he didn't even want to carry a turtle shell. Such a person cannot change his destiny for a lifetime. Can only be dominated by fate. Just say you can't recite it. Naruto shook in front of Sasuke holding a small turtle shell, which was a model that Naruto eliminated a few years ago. Sasuke looked at Xiaoli and Neji who were practicing, and then at Naruto, having a fierce ideological struggle in his heart, and finally gritted his teeth. Whether handsome or not is temporary, but whether you are strong or not is for a lifetime. Single quote. Back. He took the turtle shell from Naruto. Once the turtle shell was in his hands, Sasuke felt a strong sinking force, which almost brought him down. Good weight. Single quote. With trembling hands, Sasuke lifted the tortoise shell up with a little effort, and put the tortoise shell on his back with difficulty. The whole person moved forward in an extremely slow motion as if in slow motion, but he fell down after not taking a few steps. HMPH, the young master of the Uchiha clan is nothing more than that. Single quote. Neji laughed to himself. completely forgetting the embarrassment he was in when he carried the turtle shell for the first time. It's okay, it's like this the first time. Naruto pulled Sasuke up, and patted the dirt on his body from the fall. It will be fine in the future. Sasuke's face turned red. He didn't know if it was because of his own overpowering and panic or because the turtle shell was too heavy. Sasuke looked at his own shell and then at the one on Naruto. I carry the smallest one like this. Naruto seems to be more than twice as big as my own, so how much should it weigh? Single quote. Naruto pointed to the turtle shell behind him and said, "You mean me? The weight is about 5 times yours. Your one is the smallest, only about 100 kg, about the training volume of my 4 or 5 years old." Naruto's weight is not limited to the tortoise shell on his body, and many parts of his body are also tied up. This is the only way to practice without a gravity chamber. 5 years old. A word came to Neji and Sasuke's mind together. Pervert. X2. As for Xiao Li is very obedient, and he is practicing hard without any distractions. Defeating Neji head-on in the first place gave him great motivation. Now he only wants to practice. It's very rude of you to say that. And you said you can't read minds. X2. I really don't know that kind of thing. Naruto said innocently. What greeted them was the completely disbelieving eyes of the two. It took a week for Sasuke to get used to the tortoise shell on his body, and he was barely able to do some simple movements with the tortoise shell on his back. Neji laughed at this matter for a long time, and it only took 6 days for Neji. Compared with Naruto's progress back then, it was more than a bit slower. The next step of practice is to swim. Facing the rushing waterfall, Xiao Li plunged down very obediently, then never got up again, and was finally picked up by Naruto. What do you say you can't swim? The two swimmers, Neji and Sasuke, swallowed together, and were kicked down by Naruto one by one with desperate eyes. The next step of practice is to cultivate the land. Next step. Yes, Naruto is teaching Neji, Lee, and Sasuke Kamezen fluid art, just like Kakarot taught him back then. He trains the 3 of Sasuke in the same way. For Kakarot, who appeared inexplicably in his body and disappeared inexplicably, Naruto had a vague guess in his heart. The purpose of teaching the 3 Guaxian fluid technique was to build his own team on the one hand, and to confirm this conjecture on the other hand. The facts are not beyond Naruto's conjecture. No matter what Naruto taught, or even transported chi into the bodies of Neji and the others, they could not sense the existence of chi at all except that they felt energetic and recovered quickly. As if chi is Naruto's patent, only Naruto can sense it. This is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that only Naruto can enjoy it alone, and the unique ability is the most precious, and there is nothing unusual about bad streets. The bad thing is that the 3 of them may not be able to rely on chi to quickly increase their combat power like Naruto, let alone Kameheichigung and Wukong. It would be great if they could use an afterimage fist. On top of chakra. Days passed, and soon it was 2 weeks since the Uchiha clan was wiped out. The villagers of Konaha village were completely unaffected by the Uchiha genocide. For them, the elimination of the Uchiha clan is just a lot less annoying people, and there is one more topic to talk about in the chat. Other than that, everything is as usual. Who made the Uchiha clan unpopular in Konaha? Who do the Uchiha clan hate? Whoever made Konaha's public opinion before was, as long as you scold Uchiha, then we are half-brothers, sisters with different mothers. Single quote. But it's not that no one is affected, such as the roots that lost a lot in the night of genocide. No more. The old man's hard work over the years is gone. Single quote. Danzo has been in a trance since Uchiha genocide night. There are more than 100 root elites, which were cultivated by Danzo, who spent half his life and effort in taking charge of the root for so many years. More than 100 root elites, not more than 100 pigs, not ordinary genin and cannon fodder chunin on the roadside, and not passers-by trained in ninja schools, each of which consumes a lot of resources and energy. There are many that still have great room for growth. Among them are many masters. Reconnaissance, offense, medical treatment, ninjutsu, illusion, body technique, perception, almost all types are covered. You can fight in groups or single player. It is more than enough to be the leader of a small ninja village alone, and it is more than enough for a medium-sized ninja village to avoid it. Just such a force, if it is gone now, it will be gone. Danzo only felt that his heart was bleeding, and the dripping method of the fountain was completely unacceptable. In order to eliminate Uchiha, Danzo spent a lot of money, and he did not hesitate to collude with the masked man again. He thought he could make money, but now he directly loses money. Back to before liberation overnight. There are only 2 or 3 kittens and puppies left in the whole route, and it will be difficult to make a comeback. Danzo will disappear in a short time. Danzo's bad luck didn't end there, however. Danzo, I need an explanation. Third Hokage took the root order and threw it in front of Danzo. You disregarded my ban and mobilized a large number of root ninjas to ambush in the Uchiha tribe. What exactly do you want? Old man Shimura, Danzo does things, why do you need to explain to others? Danzo, who was in an extremely bad mood, was sulking, and replied reflexively without thinking. Third generation was a little annoyed by Danzo's teasing, so they didn't hesitate when they saw this, and said straight to the point, where are the remaining Uchihas? Hand over their bodies. Those Uchiha, in the mouth of the third generation, refer to the more than 100 people who are currently in the country of the vortex. Konaha has known the population distribution of Uchiha for a long time. The strong, the weak, the eyes opened, and the eyes unopened, even the newborn babies are recorded in the file. Photos, personal information, task completion, general strength, and even girls' obsessions are all clearly written. How could it be possible not to investigate the reason for the loss of more than 100 people in the night? How can we not pursue it? In third generation's view, Uchiha's genocide plan was secretly carried out by Danzo, who acquiesced to Konoha's 2 advisors. Most of these people were killed by the roots, so the corpses must be in Danzo's place and hidden by him. Danzo, this guy has been doing human experiments with that unfilial man behind his back for a long time. This time is no exception. I don't know, Danzo said angrily, patting the table. This time third generation really wronged Danzo. The root ninjas were wiped out for no reason. Danzo is still so aggrieved that he is dying. How does he know where the more than 100 people have gone? He couldn't even figure out whether the root ninja died at the hands of Itachi or the masked man. Third generation also slapped the table and glared at Danzo. Danzo, stop pretending. It's a pity that from the perspective of third generation, this is the result of a fight between Genbu and Uchiha. The main reason is that Danzo has done too many things like this in the past, and it no longer has much credibility. Third generation determined that it was Danzo who hid their bodies, including the missing fugaku couple. Waking up from a coma, Sasuke decided that Itachi killed the fugaku couple. According to Sasuke, he saw Itachi kill his parents with his own eyes. However, he has already killed so many Uchihas, there is no need to use illusion to create the illusion of killing his parents. So the fugaku couple must have died at the hands of Uchiha Itachi. Now that the body is gone, it must have been hidden by Danzo too. Who else but Danzo? Who else can do the whole Konoha except Danzo? It can't be that Uchiha disappeared out of thin air, right? Lol. This man is too bad. Danzo, this belongs to the yellow mud falling into the crotch, it is not shit or shit. He carried a big black pot on his back. If the old man said no, then there is no. Who is Danzo? The first person under Konaha Hokage * Hokage assistant * elder of Konaha advisory group * root leader. When did he suffer this kind of grievance? Dang Waihua, you. Third generation pointed at Danzo and couldn't say a word for a long time. Danzo refused to admit it in front of the iron-like evidence. Third generation took a deep breath and tried to calm down the anger in his heart. Danzo, I can no longer ignore your dictatorship. From now on, I will relieve you from the positions of Assistant Hokage and Elder Konaha. Sarutobi, you can't do this. Danzo was shocked and angry when he heard the words. At this moment, his roots were severely injured. If he lost the titles of Hokage Assistant and Konaha Elder, it would be the same as quitting Konoha's circle of power and giving up his roots. How can I be the 5th Hokage after this? But third generation's next words made Danzo's heart sink. The roots of your subordinates should also be disbanded. Sarutobi, you can't do this. Pointing at third generation, Danzo was speechless angrily, and raised his voice with the same words. The root is his powerful trump card for the Hokage position. It is his heart and soul. Without people, he can be cultivated, and without power, he will be useless. Now the third generation is not only depriving him of political power, but also depriving him of military power. Just solve Uchiha's problem and take his power directly. Is this going to kill the donkey? How can Danzo not be angry? It's a pity that his subordinates are almost dead, and in terms of means, he is even worse than third generation, the boss of the guy who has the title of recognized strongest ninja. Soon I will formally order you. Third generation's tone carried an unquestionable order, and did not give Danzo a chance to refute. Before then, you should stay in the confinement room. Sarutobi. Danzo could only glared at third generation, not to mention how aggrieved he was, and squeezed out those signature words that he said many times and knew how many times. You will regret this. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.